Greetings, comrades. Welcome to All Power to the People podcast on Grown Folks Talking, Express Yourself Internet Radio via the Huddle Team app. We meet every Sunday at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. We discuss local, national, and global events that impact the material conditions of the people and provide viable solutions. We are here to find those tired of the way their lives are socially constructed. As Panthers, we use dialectic materialism. As Dr. Huey P. Newton stated, power is the ability to define phenomena and make it act in a desired manner. From combating the housing crisis to police patrols, we are the vanguard in place to serve our communities. The purpose of this program is to highlight contradictions in the electoral process, which Western culture calls politics. Politics is the struggle for resources. Participating in America's electoral process has only taken resources from the people and handed it to the oligarchs and the professional managerial class that serve them by maintaining the status quo through coercion. We know that power lies with the people, and it is our duty to organize and educate the community so that they can fight for their own liberation. So please, join us every Sunday at 12 p.m. You can join by downloading the Huddle Team app, join online, or call in. The app and joining online is free, but if you call in, standard messaging rates may apply. Links to the show will be provided in the caption. This is General Secretary Patience of the new Afrikan Black Panther Party, NAB-PP North. All power to the people.
I'll be having conversation with people, and they'll be like, so what do we do? What is our option? How do we change our material conditions? How do we change the reality around us? I mean, you can't do that. This is from our food program. I mean, so that's why I'm starting off like this, to show everybody like the things that you could do in the community. As Panthers, we come together in North to get this food to go out and give to the families that are starving. We all know, if we live in these communities, we know how hard times are. We're all going through it. We eat the same food too. We take the food in our home and we put them in our bellies. This is our during the school year, all year round. We don't have enough money to go build a school to be able to bring in all these children and stuff. We don't have all of that. But we can create an after-school program. And this is one of the ways we bring the kids in with the after-school program so they could come in for us to give them that knowledge, to teach them, and try to help guide them through this reality, through this world. Hey, you say they teach you about 9/11 in school?
Yeah.
What they teach you about 9/11? Why did the plane hit the buildings? You got to say it loud enough so I can hear you.
The Muslim airjacked the plane and then they crashed shit into the Twin Towers.
That's what they taught you, that the Muslims hijacked the plane?
They didn't talk.
That's okay. That's okay. Relax.
The plane crashed into the Twin Towers.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers? They didn't. Anybody? Hey, what you were saying, Major?
I also know that they crashed into the woods.
Hold up. Let Major speak. What'd you say, Major?
My teacher told me that there was hijackers on a plane, and then when they crashed it, left the plane, and there was more hijackers on the other plane, and they crashed into that. That's what Towers again.
But why did they crash into the Twin Towers?
Because they wanted to go to New York.
So they crashed into the Twin Towers to go to New York. They died to go to New York.
They wanted to. The hijackers wanted to go to New York, but then they crashed into the Twin Towers.
Oh, they wanted to go land in New York, but they crashed in the Twin Towers. So anybody else got saying to add? Archie, you got saying to add?
I know.
What you want to add?
That the other planes got airjacked and then they crashed into different places.
That's it?
Yeah.
So nobody can tell me why the planes crashed? Why the planes did that? Nobody can tell me? But don't you think the school should tell you why?
Yes. Yeah.
So like, if the school not telling you why, what does that mean?
They keep it secret.
Wow.
It's gatekeeping.
Whoa, where you get gatekeeping from, bro?
I said gates.
But where you learn that at?
TikTok. It's
You say me? you
said
burnt.
TikTok.
You burnt out, yo. You burnt out. Nah, but the reason why they crashed into the into the Twin Towers is because the American government, America was going to their country, taking their natural resources, stealing their stuff, killing their people. So they got mad. They stole a plane and they came and crashed it on the World Trade Center to get back at America. That's why they did it.
So it wasn't 2 planes then?
No, it wasn't one plane. I think it was 2 or 3. Was it? I think it was one. Was no? I think there was one in DC and there was one in Philly or something like that.
So
That did.
Two inside the Twin
Yeah, huh?
So I basically got it right then.
There was
What
one
did-
inside Twin Towers, and then another one tried to crash into the place that Trump lives in.
The Trump Tower? There ain't no plane try to go to the Trump Tower. The White House?
The White House.
Did the plane try to go to the White House?
No, the Pentagon. I think that's
The plane, one went to the Pentagon. But
Something like that.
But these people be lying. The media be lying. The politicians be lying. So you never know what's true. But why they really did it, they said because America was going over to their countries and they were killing their people. They were taking their resources and they were putting military bases in their country. So that's why they did it. I mean, that's why they went over there and did it and stuff. They call that blowback. Like when you go to another country and you do stuff to them and then they come back over here and do something, like they call that blowback.
it's like get back.
Yeah, it's like get back.
They should have did more. So imagine another country.
You said they should have did more?
They should have nuked them.
Then we gonna die. If they nuke us, we gonna die. I don't wanna die.
What if we wasn't alive at that time?
But we're going to continue this later, y'all. I'm going to holler at y'all. We're going to continue later. This is our summer basketball camp. It's going on right now. Every day from 9 to 1. We have this basketball camp that that the kids come out. Yo, it's all about organizing and finding ways to bring people out, bring the children out to be able to organize them. I mean, when you doing these things to bring the children in, to bring the community in, yo, you got to be serious. You can't be playing around with this. Yo, like when the kids come here, at the end of the summer, they're stronger, they're faster, they're quicker, and they know more about the game, about the sport than they did before. You know, we watch their minds develop every day. While we're talking about Pantherism, what do we do? What are the solutions? Yo, there's solutions here. I mean, the solutions is organizing our own community, creating an economic base where we can be able to feed ourselves, take care of ourselves without having to bow down to somebody else, without having to beg somebody else for our humanity. Yo, I refuse to go beg anybody to give me humanity. I will take my humanity by force. I understand I am not free. We understand we are not free as Panthers. There's no doubt in our mind if we are free or not. And you cannot hold anybody that's under oppression, that's under neocolonialism, responsible for how their life turned out, because they control no institution. I mean, I often hear people say, like, the drug dealers, the worst thing in our community is drug dealers, because they're stupid. They're ignorant. They haven't educated themselves to understand the world around them. So they just open their mouth and regurgitate whatever they heard somebody else say. You're a fool. If you believe anything out here is your fault or our fault. Seriously. And I'm telling you, I work with the community all day and all night. And I know how ignorant the community can be. But I don't blame the people for the conditions they find themselves in. They have nothing to do with how anything is done materially in this world. They're just bystanders. The people that I hold accountable is those that know, the intellectuals. That's supposed to know better, but continue to usher our people into institutions of white supremacy, of imperialism, that will continue to exploit us. Tell our people to go vote. What are you voting for? I mean, who are you voting for? Who do they serve? They don't serve the people. They won't serve the people, or they won't survive in those institutions.
Get your phone. It's my song.
What's your song? Get some from. Get some. Let me see. Hold it out, Bobby. Mira. Hold it out. Let me see. Yeah. Hold up. You got it? You like it? There we go. There we go.
Wait, take you.
You're welcome. What's your name?
My name is Panther.
What position you play?
Like this.
Oh, pitcher. You're the pitcher. You're a pitcher. Your children out here?
No. I'm
No.
just watching.
Oh, you just watching? You
Yeah.
just watching too?
I like
My name Afrika.
Africa.
Africa.
Like the country.
Yeah, the continent. Continent.
Like
Yeah, continent. Hold up.
happy.
Huh?
Happy.
Yeah. I'll come every year. I'll bring more stuff.
Because there are a lot of times
I'll come. I'll bring everything every year. Yeah, we just started. We've come in with the organization. The organization,
New African Black Panther
party. So the Black Panther Party. So look, no politician, no rich person will take care of us. The only people that are going to take care of us is us. If we understand that all we need to do is take care of each other, we're going to be good. Yeah, so you notice how all the companies, all the stores is owned by the gringos, Canada, Switzerland. We need to own it. We need to own everything so soon. You need to own stuff in Susua. You need to own Bailey's. You need to own Roomba. Yeah, we need to own all of that shit. Not nobody else. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, man. But that's why I'm here. Everything we do is free. Everything is free. You don't pay. Yeah, you don't pay for nothing. I mean, this is my guy here. This is my guy, Subi. You know Subi? Yeah, this is my guy. He helped me out down here. I've been with this company for about 7 years, but it's been here since 1969. I'm the leader of the company. I'm the leader now of the organization. Yeah. So we come down. He's gonna be down here working down here in the organization for me. Yeah, he's gonna be here working here.
Also, do you visit Puerto Plata?
Yeah, Puerto Plata everywhere. I go everywhere. I stayed in.
I'm from Puerto Plata. I'm from the shore to
So you want to help me do this in Puerto Plata? I'm about to cut off the camera and I'm about to take your number. We're going to do the same thing. You know, the person that run the baseball, he helping me too.
I live next to a baseball.
Man, what's your name, man? Tell them your name, man.
My name is Brian. I'm teacher of natural science.
Natural science?
Natural science.
Oh my God, I'm hitting a home run everywhere I go, man. Bobby, mira. Good? You good? There we go. Biology? My God. But it's cool. All power to the people. Welcome to All Power to the People, Grown Folks Talking Network. Express yourself. My name is Chairman Africa, and I am your host. Hey, I want to thank everybody for coming every week. I like to thank everybody for coming, man, because y'all could be doing anything else like everybody else. Because most of the people here, you've already been here already. This is not your first time, and you know what we're talking about. We talk about real serious stuff here. We talk about stuff that you can't really talk about in normal society. We ask questions and we discuss things here that you can't discuss in popular society because there's no space there to discuss it. When everybody act like we're free. Everybody's free. You're free to say whatever you want to say. We're going to see. By the end of this show, you're going to see, like, you can't say what you want to say. You're not free to say what you want to say. You have to say what those in power want you to say. And that's what this space is about. This space is about us taking power back, controlling our communities, controlling the spaces that we are in. That's all this is about. There's nothing secretive. We don't have no secret meetings where we're doing this, doing that. Nah, everything is above board. You know, we tired of being pushed out of our homes. We tired of not being able to afford nothing. You know, we've tried the government. We've tried every way possible, and it hasn't worked. It's time we try something else. But there's nothing here that's radical. It's time we try something else. And that something else is us pulling our resources together to control the resources in our community, to control our lives, to dictate our lives. That's what this space is for. Everybody is not going to come here. If most people, the world that we live in, people have been socialized to only care about themselves. That's how we've been socialized, to just care about ourselves and how we're going to survive and our family is going to survive. As Black Panthers, we're counterculture. We don't go with that culture. We don't believe that's how we're going to survive. We don't believe that's who we are as human beings. There's more to humanity than materialism. It's more. That's not even life. I was just talking to little bro just now. He's still in college. He got like 3 jobs. He working at night. He a teacher. He a coach. All kind of stuff. Just to try to survive. I mean, like that impacts the way you think, how you move in this world. Because even though he's doing all of that, he still wants to be part of what we're doing in the community. But it's almost impossible because he has to do all of this stuff. But we all have to do all of this. We all have to have like 2, 3 jobs and find ways to be able to survive, barely be able to make rent. Like most of the time, people keep this stuff secret, like they're the only ones going through it. You can sometimes you don't go nowhere because you ain't got the money to go. We just stay home. We're not going to buy nothing. We're not going to eat nothing anywhere. We just stay home and make something out of whatever we got. I mean, we know other people living like that. We living like that. Other people living like that. I mean, and that's this whole space is about how do we rectify that. So let me play. Oh, well, if this is your first time here, we don't. Everything that we do is not an opinion. It's not what we feel like doing. What we do here is scientific. We study the past to understand the present and how to change it. Right now we're reading the Philadelphia Negro. The General Secretary, even though with her job and all the stuff she has to do, one of her duties is, it's a duty because she look at it as a duty. Is to make the audio, to transcribe the book into audio for you to be able to take it in, to digest it in, instead of you having to sit there and read. Because all of us, we don't have the time to sit there and read a book. It's almost impossible. I mean, because believe me, I've read a lot of books, but it was when I was in prison. I had time to, I could read a book in 2 days, 2, 3 days. I had time to be able to just be by myself. I used to be up all night. I used to be up all night reading books and then go to sleep. Go to sleep during the daytime to stay away from all the other stuff that was going on in the building, all the politics that was going on in the jail. So I just stayed up all night. I read all night. And then when I felt tired, probably like around 11, 12 o'clock, I went to sleep, woke up, went back to reading again. There's nothing there to do. Well, worked out, do whatever I got to do, and then went back to reading again. Your mind is focused. You're not everywhere. You can block the whole world out. You don't have to worry about nothing. No noise, no nothing. You can block everything out and just focus. In those moments, like I could see myself in the pages. I could see that time period because I watch a lot of movies. I watch a lot of movies. I grew up. All I did was watch TV. So whatever reference that the book is talking about, whatever period, I can take myself right to that period using the reference of movies to be able to understand, like in the 1800s, cowboys, this, that, how the West, the South, I use the movies to reference it. And they used to be like movies to me. Like I could, because like every time when I read the book, like the books they always suck in the beginning. Like it's hard to find a book that just catches you from the beginning. So sometimes, and back then, like I just started reading, so it was kind of hard to follow along with what they were saying because the definitions and all this, the way they was talking, the way they was, it's English, but like the poor education I had, it was hard for me to what do they call it in school? They call it to comprehend what I was taking in. But I would suffer through the first 2, 3 page chapters, whatever. I would suffer through it, and then I get to like what they're really talking about, and the book picks up. And it was like that with fictional books, all kind of books. I'll fight with it. The more I read, the better I became at it. I understood like I could deal with the beginning part of it. But then you could really focus and read. Out here, you can't focus and read. It's impossible to be like. What time do you have to just relax and read? Most people work and they get home, they tired as hell. But anyway, the General Secretary, she reads it, and I'm about to put it on. This week we're gonna do something different. We're gonna listen to a little bit of it, then I'm gonna stop it so we can have a conversation about what we read. I want you to talk. I want you to talk and tell me what you think about what we just listened to. So pay attention. What's up?
Also, follow along. There's maps, there's graphs, there's pictures. I also put a link to the map in the chat. So when he's talking about these different places, you see visually what what he's talking about.
All power to the people. So I'm about to play it, and we're going to get it kick-started.
The Philadelphia Negro, Chapter 5, Section 14, the 7th Ward, 1896. We shall now make a more intensive study of the Negro population, confining ourselves to one typical ward for the year 1896. Of the nearly 40,000 Negroes in Philadelphia in 1890, a little less than a fourth lived in the 7th Ward, and over half in this and the adjoining 4th, 5th, and 8th wards. The distribution of Negroes in the other wards may be seen by the accompanying map. The 7th Ward starts from the historic center of Negro settlement in the city, South 7th Street and Lombard, and includes the long narrow strip beginning at South 7th and extending west, with South and Spruce Streets as boundaries, as far as the Schuylkill River. The colored population of this ward numbered 3,621 in 1860, 4,616 in 1870, and 8,861 in 1890. It is a thickly populated district of varying character. North of it is the residence and business section of the city. South of it, a middle class and workingmen's residence section. At the east end, it joins Negro, Italian, and Jewish slums. At the west end, the wharves of the river and an industrial section, separating it from the grounds of the University of Pennsylvania and the residence section of West Philadelphia. Starting at 7th Street and walking along Lombard, let us glance at the general character of the ward, pausing a moment at the corner of 7th and Lombard.
So over here, the 8th, over here, on this side right here, this is where the poorest people lived at, on this side over here. And then as you move up, they're going to start talking about this is 9th, this is 10th, then 11th, and so forth. And they keep going all the way this way, to my left. I think it should be your left too. But this is the 8th right here. This is the 8th where they're going to be. This is Lombard, what they're talking about. And so 8th and Lombard would be right here. I don't know if y'all can see the little finger on the screen, but 8th and Lombard would be right here. And let them play.
We can, at a glance, view the worst Negro slums of the city. The houses are mostly brick, some wood, not very old, and in general, uncared for rather than dilapidated. The blocks between 8th, Pine, 6th, and South have for many decades been the center of Negro population. Here, the riots of the 30s took place, and here once was a depth of poverty and degradation almost unbelievable. Even today, there are many evidences of degradation. Although the signs of idleness, shiftlessness, dissoluteness, and crime are more conspicuous than those of poverty. The alleys near, as Radcliffe Street, Middle Alley, Brown's Court, Barclay Street, etc., are haunts of noted criminals, male and female, of gamblers and prostitutes, and at the same time of many poverty-stricken people, decent but not energetic. There is an abundance of political clubs, and nearly all of the houses are practically lodging houses. Let
me stop it for a second. Yeah, does anybody have anything to say about that? What they just said about here, about the people that are here? What Du Bois just said about the people that were there? Like, I'm gonna bring it back a little bit so you can hear it again.
Criminals, male and shiftlessness, degradation of Negro population, very old, and in general, uncared for rather than dilapidated. The blocks between 8th, Pine, 6th, and South have for many decades been the center of Negro population. Here, the riots of the 30s took place, and here once was a depth of poverty and degradation almost unbelievable. Even today, there are many evidences of degradation. Although the signs of idleness, shiftlessness, dissoluteness, and crime are more conspicuous than those of poverty. The alleys near, as Radcliffe Street, Middle Alley, Brown's Court, Barclay Street, etc., are haunts of noted criminals, male and female, of gamblers and prostitutes, and at the same time of many poverty-stricken people, decent but not energetic. There is an abundance of political clubs, and nearly all of the houses are practically lodging houses, with a miscellaneous and shifting population. The corners, night and day, are filled with Negro loafers, able-bodied young men and women, all cheerful, some with good-natured open faces, some with traces of crime and excess, a few pinched with poverty. They are mostly gamblers and thieves and prostitutes, and few have fixed and steady occupation of any kind. Some are stevedores, porters, laborers, and laundresses. On its face, this slum is noisy and dissipated, but not brutal, although now and then highway robberies and murderous assaults in other parts of the city are traced to its denizens. Nevertheless, the stranger can usually walk about here day and night with little fear of being molested, if he be not too inquisitive. Passing of a bar beyond 8th, the atmosphere suddenly changes, because next 2 blocks have few alleys.
All right, so anybody, what they just talked about, that space right here, right here, this is where the most of like the poorest people, this is where they're at. This circle right here, between 7 and 8. Anybody got anything to say about what they just said?
I find it interesting that they have. They said it was said that there were many political clubs
Mm.
in the area, right alongside all the other places of ill repute, I suppose. I find that fascinating. What does that mean? Political clubs, like in what fashion?
All power to the people. What you call it? Non-profit organizations. But go ahead. What you about to say? What you about to say, General Secretary?
No, when he's describing that, like the neighborhood is intermixed with the graduated criminal element, the pimps, the prostitutes, but they got a little bit of money, so you can't really differentiate whether they're like part of their legit middle class, upper class black Negroes, or they got their money by other sordid means. But just the way that the population is mixed, it just reminded me when we went to Nigeria, how you got different classes of people living together. The poorest of the poor, and then you go down the street, there's like a mansion, and like the more wealthy are living with the less, the poorest of the poor. So I'm trying to like use my sociological imagination, like how that place looked at that time. Would it have looked something similar to like how we saw in Nigeria?
All power to the people. Anybody else?
It sounds like he's describing the people based off the community that they live in. It sounds like to me this is the district where people go to get their vices off, and instead he's describing the whole of the community as people that have vices. He even says some of these people have jobs, but he's characterizing them. I think it's a mischaracterization because he's saying the criminal element on their face. Like, what does that even mean? How do we know a lot of these people ain't from 12th Street who just come down here because this is where all the brothels and the gambling and stuff is happening? They're like within the red line district. Obviously, this is the slums of the slums, but when they describe the whole neighborhood is surrounded by ghettos, right? You got the Jewish ghettos, you got the other European ghetto, but this is a way to look down on a certain group of people. You can't just look at a man and tell if they're a criminal just because they live in a bad part of the city. That's the issue that I'm having here. If it was up to me to believe, because we grew up in communities like this, it's not the like and then like as soon as you cut the video off, it talks about as you go further. I don't know if this is east or west, but as you go up the block, it has less alleyways. So it's either like this area is structurally advantageous to committing crime. If I had to guess, I would say this is where the whole community goes to get their vices off, and they just shaming people because they can't live up the block, they got to live down the block. I would also probably say this is where people are, like when you migrate to Philly, because you have to be in this community, this is where you have to go and kind of build your bones before you get a better job and you're able to move up the block.
All power to the people. Nah, yeah, I got all of that too. What everybody said. Yeah, I'm listening and I'm catching it. You see, but to me, this sound like Newark. This sound like where I'm from. He said the people outside, they're standing outside. I mean, shiftless, no jobs, the drug dealers, everybody. Like these are our communities where the poorest people live at. That's where we all live at. In these ghettos, in these projects. And then he said another part saying about the transient people not really staying there that long, which he was talking about like the immigrants, like and even here we are all renters. What do they call that? That's a word they use for that. I mean, we are transient community.
Transient.
Yeah, transient. I mean, the community is transient. Like there's really no. I don't know. Did they say that part on here where he said them houses? I don't know. They're gonna say it later. But the houses mean like where philanthropic houses for old people that they built for old people and stuff. Most of those things like that was in that space. I mean, and that's where all the poor people live at. So if I bring it back to now, I mean, because he talking about the worst part where the laziest people, all of that stuff. That's how they speak about our communities now. That's how they speak about the hoods now. You hear them Chicago, this New York, this that's how they talk about our communities right now. Yesterday, this morning, when they're talking, and they blame these people in that space for being responsible for what's going on in the entire space, even though those people have no power to affect nothing anywhere else. They don't control the policies. They don't control government. They don't write no laws. They don't do nothing. Somebody got a thumbs up?
Yeah, that's me. I was agreeing with you, but I also wanted to piggyback off what you said about that's what we're dealing with right now. Trump is using the excuse of crime in our neighborhoods to send the with the guards, the National Guards and extra police and all this stuff. And we got black people in our neighborhoods, Spanish too, it don't matter the color, but we got people in our communities talking about bring them on. They're like, yes, we want them. And for those people, I hope they lock you, your family, your grandmother, your niece, the little baby, lock all of them up when they come.
All power to the people, yeah. All power to the people. Now, let me continue. On anybody else before I continue? Because that's how I want to do this now. I don't want to just be talking, preaching to everybody.
I just wanted to say this one thing is that, like, the people that I talk to who agree with Trump bringing in the police, they don't even live in the ghettos. If you understand where the police is coming in D.C., they went to the blackest communities, regardless of the crime. And they went around the White House where they don't want certain groups of people at. So you got a whole bunch of people saying bring in the troops, but they're not going to have to bear those consequences of the troops coming in. And those are from personal conversations that I've had with people. If those officers stopped you from going to do your work, you would have a difference of opinion. When you got them black ladies in paint Chicago red, like I'm wondering what communities do they live in where y'all telling Trump to come?
All power to the people. Hey, yo, Ibrahim and General Secretary, I don't know how you guys feel, but I want you to be on video. We got to get our side of the story out. We got to be able to spin the narrative. We got to create our own media. I will push it on all my social media spaces. I want your voice to be out there. I don't want this to be just Africa speaking. This ain't like a normal show, whatever. This is really to capture how we thinking. Because, like you said, they never come to us. Even when they do their census, They never come to us and ask us how we feel about things, like what we going through. Yo, they always ask the managerial Negroes, the Negroes that are in City Hall, people that like middle class people. They never come to the seventh, the what is that? What do you say? The seventh ward. They never come over here where we at. They don't come to this little circle part. They go everywhere else. They go all the way up the block. And those people, like you said, all the way up there will be like, yeah, go in there, take the police in there, go throw all those people out, and never address the issue, the concrete issue that's going on. And we read in Du Bois, this is the Philadelphia Negro. Yo, you can disagree with our luminaries, with people like you could disagree with Du Bois, because from Du Bois' perspective, yo, the issue that's conflicting these people that they're going through is all of their own doing. It is not the government, the system around them. It is not imperialism. It is dumb that's doing it to themselves. That is the tone that he has right here. So when you see that and you understand, like, nah, that ain't how this shit really work. You can confidently, yo, if Du Bois was here, I would have that debate with him. But you know what? I don't have to, because he changed his mind from this. When he died, he didn't think like this. Later on, he was like, nah, like, fuck, like, nah. But let me continue.
If he be not too inquisitive. Passing up a bar beyond 8th, the atmosphere suddenly changes, because next 2 blocks have few alleys and the residences are good-sized and pleasant. Here some of the best Negro families of the ward live. Some are wealthy in a small way. Nearly all are Philadelphia-born, and they represent an early wave of immigration from the old slum section. To the south on Rodman Street are families of the same character. North of Pine and below 11th, there are practically no Negro residences. Beyond 10th Street and as far as Broad Street, the Negro population is...
Y'all heard that, right? Y'all heard what he just said. Yo, Abraham, you got your hand up?
No, no.
Oh, okay, now that thing's still up. But another thing too, if you hear something and you want me to stop the audio, this to everybody. If you hear something you want me to stop the audio, let me know. I'm gonna bring it back a little bit. But they're starting to explain to you now where, like, how they're gonna show you how it's moving up by class.
On Rodman Street are families of the same character. North of Pine and below 11th, there are practically no Negro residences. Beyond 10th Street and as far as Broad Street, the Negro population is large and varied in character. On small streets like Barclay and its extension below 10th Souther, on Ivy, Rodman, Salem, Hines, Eisenmenger, Ralston, etc., is a curious mingling of respectable working people and some of a better class, with recent immigrations of the semi-criminal class from the slums. On the larger streets, like Lombard and Jennifer, there live many respectable colored families, native Philadelphians, Virginians, and other Southerners, with a fringe of the more questionable families. Beyond Broad, as far as 16th, the good character of the Negro population is maintained, except in 1 or 2 back streets. From 16th to 18th, intermingled with some estimable families, is a dangerous criminal class. They are not the low, open idlers of 7th and Lombard, but rather the graduates of that school, shrewd and sleek politicians, gamblers and confidence men, with a class of well-dressed and partially undetected prostitutes. This class is not easily differentiated and located, but it seems to center at 7th and Lombard. Several large gambling houses are near here, although more recently one has moved below Broad, indicating a reshifting of the criminal center. The whole community was an earlier immigration from 7th and Lombard. North of Lombard, above 7th, including Lombard Street itself, above 18th, is one of the best Negro residence sections of the city, centering about Addison Street. Some undesirable elements have crept in even here, especially since the Christian League attempted to clear out.
Yeah, before we go too far, did you notice where the politicians live at? Because look, remember, this is the 1896. This is over here. This is where the people live at right here, in the worst area. And then listen to them. Where did what you call it, the politicians and all of them, the ones that left out of here? Look, because I want you to understand something. Like, our struggle is a class struggle. When we say that, we're not just saying it to be saying it because, like, it sounds cool. We in a class struggle. Yeah, I know Marxism. Yeah, it's cool. No, this is the Black Panther this is a Black Panther podcast, because it's Black Panther because we most of us in the organization are black. We're Latinx. I mean, like, we all have African ancestry in us. That's who we are in this world. So that's like our perception, our reality, our worldview is by and large guided by that. And you cannot ignore that. So when we talking, you're going to hear a lot of black this, black that. But our issue is a class one. Just like if I was a female up here talking, it would be a lot of, I'll be coming from a female perspective, added on with the blackness and all of that. We have to understand, if we want to deal with the society that we're dealing with, we must not be scared to start internally within black people themselves and ask, like, why haven't we changed our condition? Why haven't we changed it? Why haven't the leadership, all these smart people, this brilliant, this wealthy, all these people, this leadership that we had, how come nothing has changed? How come we're still living in the slums like this? We're still dealing with the same conditions from 1896. You can't be afraid. And then when we get to it, at the bottom of it, like when you get to the foundation of it, our issue is class. Because even our black people that achieve, that get the money, that get the access, they leave and they go closer proximity to the power structure, which is white, which is European. They go closer there, and their views, the way they see the world, is from their perspective. Because when you living over this way, you living on this side, and you living over here in the 7th or whatever, in the 7th, where they say all of us was at, you don't see the world the same. Your interactions with the police, your interaction with public institutions, your interactions with everything is different. Ibrahim was just talking, like, he said, like, earlier when you get your comment, you said, how can you just look and tell, like, they're poor or whatever? The same way they do it now. If you see a little kid with a hoodie on, they call it on YNs. You see a kid, like, you walking around in North, they got on ski masks in the summertime. You could go ahead.
So my thing is, they not that they characterize them as poor, but they characterize them as criminal. You can look at he's poor because of the area that he's in and what they have in.
They criminalize them. They criminalize their behavior, and that's the same thing Du Bois is doing. Because they're from over there, because they're outside. I mean, like, they're doing whatever. Like he said, you could tell. Nah. I mean, like, yeah, you 100% correct. But they do that now. When you listen to these people, they talk about because they wear a hoodie. If you see anybody wearing a hoodie in 100 degrees weather, like, like, go the other way, like, why you got on a hoodie, the police will check them, they could stop and frisk them. Because they don't understand most of the time, these kids only got that hoodie. And I know because I work with them. I mean, and they got the ski masks on to hide their head because they don't have haircuts on. And that's the style. That's what everybody's doing. But they're not looking at it from that perspective. Just like with what's his name? During my man with the Skittles. It's so many people, like, you lose name, Travion.
Trayvon.
Yeah.
Trayvon Martin.
People were saying he shouldn't have had a hoodie on. People was complaining about the hoodie, like, he got a hoodie on, you don't know. Now, I don't know if y'all remember, but there was, like, a little while ago, people used to be saying stuff about having hoodies on. Having a hoodie on was a problem. I mean, it's deep. It's deep. But let me finish.
Can I say something real quick? Okay. Would you say that's the same as, like, how they try to say now about, like, black females wearing bonnets outside, like, they make that a big thing? I really don't get the issue with that, but, like, that's a thing. Like that's really a thing. Like you get characterized a certain way
Oh
from
yeah.
being a Barnett side. So it's like that's crazy.
You're
They say hello.
Hey, yo, whoever's that talking, we did not hear you. I need you to say it again. Let's see if we can hear you this time.
No, they say when black women come out the house with bonnets on, oh, they ghetto, they ratchet, they don't got nothing good for them. Like, the list can go on. We can preach about it all day long. But go ahead.
All power to the people. Nah, you're 100% correct. I mean, and I'm not gonna sit here and act like all these bigoted ways of looking at our people, like it don't seep into my mind. Like I don't hold those same views. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. Yo, when I'm in the supermarket and I see somebody in there with a bonnet, I'm like, why you got on a bonnet in the supermarket? But that's what we do in the hood, bro. Like that's how we move. I mean, just like if somebody saw me, they'd be like, yo, it's summertime outside. Why you got on a hoodie? Like somebody in the store will probably see me and say that and think, but this is what they've breed in our society for us to look at each other like this, because it don't just come organically. All this stuff is filtered into our mind. Like, see how we all know it? What is it called, Mama? What is it called in sociology? Symbolic interactionism. I mean, let's try to. We got a little couple minutes left.
The fifth ward slums, but still it remains a center of quiet, respectable families who own their own homes and live well. The Negro population practically stops at 22nd Street, although a few Negroes live beyond. The seventh is an epitome of nearly all the Negroes.
All power to the people.
Yeah, I wanted to I had a comment on the well-to-do folks in the neighborhood that move up and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I went to an HBCU football game yesterday, and nobody goes to watch the football game. They go for the spectacle, the music, the band. They had tents out there in the parking lot for food and stuff. But I saw all these different groups. All the sororities was out there. All the fraternities was out there. The Jack and Jills. All these bougie, middle class, upper class group of black, brown, Spanish people. And I'm just looking like all these institutions that they have created was just for themselves. Because none of these institutions, the Jack and Jills, the sororities, the fraternities, I do not see them in our neighborhoods unless the politicians invite them to do like a freaking performance or to support them. But they're not building anything in our neighborhood. And again, it's all like performative, spectacle, garbage, clown, circus stuff that they do. Because nothing they have done has improved the material conditions of the masses. And at this point, I'm just sick of looking at them. I don't want to see another step show. I don't want to see HBCU, nothing. And then when the Charlie Kirk thing, and I'm not going to go into it too much, but HBCUs locking down because you scared of white supremacy, where white supremacy has been supporting your institutions for decades, now you're going to shut down because white people, you scared of white people? Yeah, I'm done with these people, man. I'm done.
All power to the people, yo. All power.
I'm in on that.
Yeah, go ahead, let's go.
Speaking of that, I don't want to get too deep in on that, but one of the HBCUs that went into lockdown, they had actually received a bomb threat saying that they was going to blow the whole school up with everybody in it. So I understand with them closing down and everything, but as far as every other HBCU goes, yeah, that was kind of lame as to what they had said. Like, you scared of, like, what? It just didn't add up.
Nah. I agree. I agree with everything y'all said. Hold up. Oh, y'all coming in. I should have been did it this way. Y'all be coming with more fire than me, man. But look, next week, I want y'all to set up your camera, man. I want you to be in the video. I wanna cut it up and share it. We have to get our voices out there. That's why we're doing this program. I mean, like, our narrative is never pushed. It's always other people's narrative. So, like, when we do the show, we got YouTube, we got Huddle, we got all this stuff. Hey, share this stuff. And I'm going to share your stuff. I got 80-something thousand people on TikTok. I got almost, like, I think 9,000 on Instagram. I got Facebook. I put all this stuff out there. We have to change the narrative, and that's how we're going to find people that are interested in what we're interested in. Because there's a whole bunch of people out there, just like we used to be. Like, yo, where's everybody at that's really ready to fight back? Where they at? But you can't find them because you're surrounded by all these gatekeepers and clowns. Let me go.
Problems that every class is represented in varying conditions of life. Nevertheless, one must naturally be careful not to draw too broad conclusions from a single ward in one city. There is no proof that the proportion between the good and the bad here is normal, even for the race in Philadelphia. That the social problems affecting Negroes in large northern cities are presented here in most of their aspects seems credible, but that certain of those aspects are distorted and exaggerated by local peculiarities is also not to be doubted. In the fall of 1896, a house-to-house visitation was made to all Negro families of this ward. The visitor went in person to each residence and called for the head of the
Because look, when we say, most people think how you feel because you live in the world, because you're out here, like you understand how people, what's going on wherever in a different location, because of your experiences. No, I stopped this to right now. They're showing you the scientific method, how social scientists gather the information for them to be able to make decisions or make an analysis on the situation. So your opinion don't mean shit. Don't nobody really care about your opinion. Yo, when I talk to people, I don't want to hear your opinion. I want to hear your analysis. Your analysis comes from study, from careful study, and giving yourself to that study genuinely. To me, that's admirable. I respect that in people. For you to take the time to go study what you're about to talk about, instead of just opening your mouth and telling me how you feel. I don't care how you feel. I mean, I really don't care. And like, people get upset when I say stuff like that. No, like, it's past how we feel. That's what children do, how they feel. As an adult, as an intellectual, everything you do is supposed to come from a scientific perspective. And the only way you can get a scientific perspective is by studying the data. Other than that, you just out here bumping your gums, just talking to be talking. Don't nobody want to hear what you got to say. I don't care what you got to say. You say what?
When you mentioned how people will say, I think or I feel like, it just reminds me of most of my college classes, because that's when the professor asks the question where, like, you're supposed to be thinking critically about something, that's the response of most of my classmates. Everyone is like, I feel like, I think that. Like, everything is opinion-based. It's never factual.
And but like, does the professor try to correct it?
Never.
Word up. Not cause, like, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into that. That's another subject. But yeah, that's 100%. That's true. Because if you're not using, but that's what we taught. They tell us like how you feel, your own truth, living your truth. Like people just feel like how they feel. That's how it's supposed to be.
family. The housewife usually responded, the husband now and then, and sometimes an older daughter or other member of the family. The fact that the university was making an investigation of this character was known and discussed in the ward, but its exact scope and character was not known. The mere announcement of the purpose secured, in all but about 12 cases, immediate admission. Seated then in the parlor, kitchen, or living room, the visitor began the questioning, using his discretion as to the order in which they were put, and omitting or adding questions as the circumstances suggested. Now and then the purpose of a particular query was explained, and usually the object of the whole inquiry indicated. General discussions often arose as to the condition of the Negroes, which were instructed. From 10 minutes to an hour was spent in each home, the average time being between 15 to 25 minutes. Usually the answers were prompt and candid and gave no suspicion of previous preparation. In some cases, there was evident falsification or evasion. In such cases, the visitor made free use of his best judgment and either inserting no answer at all or one which seemed approximately true. In some cases, the families visited were not at home, and the second or third visit was paid. In other cases, and especially in the case of the large class of lodgers, the testimony of landlords and neighbors often had to be taken. No one can make an inquiry of this sort and not be painfully conscious of a large margin of error from omissions, errors of judgment, and deliberate deception. Of such errors, this study has, without a doubt, its full share. Only one fact was peculiarly favorable, and that is the proverbial good nature and candor of the Negro. With a more cautious,
I want you to remember that. Because he took time to make sure he put that in there. The only thing that you could really talk about that was really that he had to deal with really, was the attitude of the Negro, the black people that he spoke to. Because we are always ready to tell you what the F we think, how we feeling, what we going through. Ain't nobody trying to keep a secret. If you ask us, we're gonna tell you. But they don't come to ask us. They don't want to hear how we feeling. I'm talking about those who control the platforms that messages and information and propaganda is produced to the masses of the people. They don't want to hear the slaves speak. Just like right now in Israel, they're not trying to get the Palestinian side. They want everything to be from their side. That's why the world has changed with social media. Because if it wasn't no social media, if we couldn't get no media from Israel, how else would you get it? CNN, MSNBC, from these people? That's where we will find out what's going on?
and suspicious people, much less success could have been obtained. Naturally, some questions were answered better than others. The chief difficulty arising in regard to the questions of age and income. The ages given for people 40 and over have a large margin of error owing to ignorance of the real birthday. The question of income was naturally a delicate one and often had to be gotten at indirectly. The yearly income, as a round sum, was seldom asked for, rather the daily or weekly wages taken and the time employed during the year. On December 1st, 1896, there were in the 7th Ward of Philadelphia 9,675 Negroes, 4,501 males, and 5,174 females. This total includes all persons of Negro descent and 33 intermarried whites. It does not include residents of the ward, then in prisons or in almshouses. There were a considerable number of omissions among the loafers and criminals without homes, the class of lodgers and clubhouse habituals. These were mostly males, and their inclusion would somewhat affect the division by sexes, although probably not to a great extent. The increase of the Negro population in this ward for 6.5 years is 814, or at the rate of 14.13% per decade. This is perhaps somewhat smaller than that for the population of the city at large, for the 7th Ward is crowded and overflowing into other wards. Possibly the present Negro population of the city is between 43,000 and 45,000. At all events, it is probable that the crest of the tide of immigration is past, and that the increase for the decade 1890 to 1900 will not be nearly as large as the 24% of the decade 1880 to 1890. The division by sex indicates still a very large and it would seem growing excess of women. The return shows 1,150 females to every 1,000 males. Possibly through the omission of men and the unavoidable duplication of some servants lodging away from their place of service, the disproportion of the sexes is exaggerated. At any rate, it is great, and if growing, may be an indication of increased restriction in the employment open to Negro men since 1880 or even since 1890. The age structure also presents abnormal features. Comparing the age structure with that of the large cities of Germany, we have comparing it with whites and Negroes in the city in 1890, we have
They're showing the slots if you on the video.
much was noticed in the whole city in 1890. So here is even more striking evidence of the preponderance of young people at an age when sudden introduction to city life is apt to be dangerous and of an abnormal excess of females.
Chairman, before I forget,
go ahead.
I wanted to comment on his what he was talking about, taking into account of the male population and how it didn't make a significant difference because the numbers were, I guess, too small. But I think he's being insincere in that because, again, they didn't count. I think the numbers would have messed up their study of numbers because the amount of males that's in the prisons and what's an almshouse? Did you ever find out what that is?
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. An almshouse is is housing that was, man. Let me just read what I got instead of trying to make up stuff.
So while he's looking that up,
I got it. Charitable residential accommodations, typically providing housing for elderly, poor, or disabled individuals, or those with specific needs. Historically, they were called hospitals or bed houses and provided shelter with many foundations dating back to the Middle Ages. Run by independent charities, they offer affordable housing and associated benefits to qualified residents who pay a maintenance contribution similar to rent but less than market rates. The hood.
So he's not counting the male population in the prisons, in the almshouses, and he's not counting the male population that's not even in those spaces. So we can't, and then he's saying there's an excess of females. And he still don't want to, he's hesitant in the reason why there's more females than males is because the job market is still not there. They're not hiring the black male population. Like, this is a structural, systemic issue. And I feel like he's trying to, like, gloss over that or not go too deep into that because it's going to mess up with the numbers in his studies. But for the past this chapter, he's making it a point that they have an excess amount of females, but yet he's not trying to connect it to the structural and racist systemic issues of why they have this excess of females. I don't know. It's like he's trying to, like, I don't know. It's
plausible deniability. Like, yo, go ahead.
This is on the backs of the Civil War as well, where a whole bunch of men went to war. One thing, like that strikes me in all of this conversation.
Good point. But go ahead.
W.B. Du Bois, he was born and raised in a free state. He never came from slavery like Frederick Douglass or Booker T. Washington. So when he talks about immigration, what he's talking about is people who's coming up from the South during Great Migration. As they moved up the community, he was talking about people who was born in maybe a generation or two Philadelphia, which means they was born in a free state. They had access to education. Not to say they were better trained or skilled, because we already know black people in the South, what they had to endure and how they had all the skills, is that they had soft skills, which would help them be able to get a job. They could read, they could write, and they understand how to maneuver around, I guess at that time you would call it liberal racism, right? Whites who hated you, but they didn't act in the way that they did in the South. So, like, that's the whole thing that I'm kind of paying attention to, this whole thing. Right now, he doesn't have that education on how brutal black people had to deal with racism in the South. his lens in which he sees other black people, he don't understand. The biblical term would be like the exegesis, right? Everything that you went through that made you the way you are. He just sees them, and he's automatically criminalizing them, right?
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have that lens yet in his life to actually notice and not only see them as they are, but what they've been through and why they're there and why they on the corner and all that other stuff. He's just like scapegoating them at this point.
Yeah, and like whenever you watching one of them superhero movies, I mean, like the person that becomes the hero, at first they reject it. Like last night we was watching, what was that Edge of Tomorrow, Patience?
Yes, The Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah, we was watching The Edge of Tomorrow. Maybe that might be my favorite Tom Cruise flick. But we was watching The Edge of Tomorrow, and at the beginning, bro was just like a normal person, just a sellout, just a fraud, a liar. He used to go around like promoting the war. So things got real. So they called him into the office, and they're like, bro, you're going to be on the front lines starting tomorrow. He's like, what? He's like, I'm not going on no front lines. He's like, you must be out your mind. So he tried to bribe the person that's trying to send him on the front lines. So they arrested him, and they drugged him, and they sent him out. When he woke up, he was on the front lines. But as the movies went on, he became the hero. And when I be reading this stuff about people like Du Bois, I'm disgusted by how he's writing, how he's talking about our people. But later on, if we get a chance to read his later works, you see the transformation. Because it gets ugly. Around this period, he going back and forth with Marcus Garvey. That's when he called him Marcus Garvey a monkey, all kind of stuff. He working with the NAACP. And you just talk about who you just said. Even who are the two people you just mentioned? Frederick Douglass and who else?
Booker T. Washington.
Booker T. Washington. I mean, he went at it. Him and Booker T. Did they go at it? I think he went at Booker T. Him and Booker T. went at it. Go ahead. Oh, okay. I thought somebody was about to say something. No, but him and Booker T went at it back then. But he worked with Frederick Douglass and all those people. They all worked together in these secret societies. Talking about.
Yes. There's a documentary, excuse me, on PBS a few years back that I watched. They talked about there was some kind of conflict between Booker T. Washington and Du Bois. And this happened mostly during the time when Du Bois was becoming a Marxist, I suppose, during that time, or he was learning more about Marxism. And he would accuse Booker T. Washington on just trying to convince black people to take a trade, to settle in some ways, but he wanted to see it in a larger socialist point of view. And in that way, they did have a conflict at that point, and then that's when Du Bois was being attacked as a communist. And his name was torn until the end of his life. But he never gave up on that. And I suppose that's Du Bois that you're talking about, that from the one that was being a passive observer and using biases that might relate more with white people, or let's say the white rich class. Maybe he was appealing to them for funds, or whatever the case may be. But saying that, I also want to kind of defend people who talk on what they know, and they say things like "I feel" or "I think." This goes back. I mean, there is we are taught in this society that anything that we might say might be an opinion, or that we might offend. So we're very careful to say things in a way. But I do agree, we should speak facts. We should look for facts. Because without that, everything else is an opinion. But on the other side, they do the same thing. When they want to shut us down, they'll say things like, "Oh, well, everybody knows that." They use what Malcolm called rhetorical devices, or maybe Malcolm used it very well. But that is the case, I feel. So we should maybe be a little bit understanding, maybe be patient. At the same time, let them talk. After George Floyd, when I came back to my job, which is in hospitality, and mostly people of color, and a vast majority, and I would say like 90% foreign-born. It's a different kind of industry. We're kind of we're taught to know our place in some ways, but in hospitality reminds me of a plantation in many ways at the same time. Hotels, resorts, and so forth. And one coworker from the Bronx made a remark when I went back when we came back to work, and he's from the Bronx, and he talked about the George Floyd protests in the Bronx, where like 300 people were arrested that were kettled, and then they won a case later on. But he pretty much called it a riot himself. He's Jamaican born. So sometimes we hear things from our people or people who have a lot in common with our communities, and you can't really judge them strictly. Just let them speak, but then educate them little by little. That's just my take on that.
All power to the people. Anybody else got something? I'm trying to find this. Patience, talk about something while I look for this.
Yeah, so we're still raising money for our survival program. We're still selling grilled chicken dinners. We still have merch. We got hoodies, t-shirts. It's getting cold, so get your orders in. So other than that, we're still doing our thing in Dominican Republic. We're trying to open a chapter. The chairman will be going to the Dominican Republic next week. I mean, not next week. Oh, my God, next month. We're looking to collect children's clothing. So if you have children's clothing that you need to get rid of, contact us. We're going to be collecting it because the kids in DR need some clothes, pants, shirts, shorts, sneakers. We'll come pick it up. We'll make arrangements. So, yeah, and like the chairman said, if you see our information, please share. The more people we get to help us in our endeavors, the more people we get to help in our communities and outside of our communities. We're still doing our free food program. We haven't done it in recent weeks, but if you have any resources out there that we can tap into to get food out to the people in the community, please connect with me. And
thank you. I can't find it in my phone, but Patience, please see if you can look it up. The quote about Toussaint, how we should look at the Western imperialism.
Okay.
I want, like, my fault. I should have told you to put it up here. But every time when we go into this, I want us to understand how we should look at these people, how we should look at these governments. And then once you understand these governments and understand these people and understand not to trust nothing they say, understand that they don't care how you feel. They will do anything to get over. They will do anything to exploit you if you can't protect yourself. I mean, I was looking for the quote from Toussaint. This is what every single one of our children should know from kindergarten about the system that they're living in, not to trust it, to understand the world that they're living in, that the traps that they have set for them. I mean, they need to know all of that. But I have it. I'm going to have it next week. I'm going to start doing that. But, like, I'm not a big Sammy Davis Jr. fan. I mean, but going through this, looking over the stuff for this week, I saw something from him. I'm going to let you listen to what he said real quick.
Even killed Martin Luther King, and the only thing he kept saying was, we shall overcome in love and peace. Killed him, wiped him out. Killed Malcolm. Wiped out everybody, man. Don't you understand? And some cat hired 3 black cats to wipe out the man who was the martyr of our time. And when they killed him, he had a half a church full of people. It wasn't like it was packed and jammed, because already he was losing. And he says it himself, if you read his works, that there's a whole bunch of niggas that don't like me. Black folks like me, but not the niggas.
Hear that? Malcolm was talking about the people in the 7th Ward. Those are the people that like him. The niggas he was talking about was the managerial Negroes. The people that was in position of power, the one that aligned themselves closer to white supremacy. Yo, you know what? I'm gonna say it now, yo. It ain't no secret. I don't do secrets. I keep everything a buck. Yo, True V worked for the mayor, and I saw him somewhere. He pulled the car over. He jumped out the car real aggressive. like he was gonna do something, like I don't know, to try to intimidate me. But I walked towards him. I'm like, who that? That's you? I'm like, that's True V. I'm like, what's going on, bro? Like, what you out here doing for the mayor, man? He was like, nah, man, the stuff you be doing, you be bugging, you be saying some crazy stuff out here. I'm like, what you mad at, True V? You mad because I'm talking about housing? You mad because I'm demanding the mayor stop gentrification? That the police start beating people, hitting them upside the head, shooting people? Yo, that's what you mad at, True V? I'm like, that's all I talk about. I don't talk about nothing else. I talk about exploitation. He was like, he cut me off like, yo, you know how many people want to come over there and do something to you and your family? Yo, people want to kill you out here. Yo, I looked at him, I'm like, bro, the streets don't want to kill me. The drug dealers don't want to kill me. People out here don't want to kill me, bro. The only people that want to kill me is the people that work at City Hall. The people that I'm demanding accountability from. I'm like, yo, the streets love me. Like, yo, when I go to the hood, those are my people, the people in the hood. The prisoners, the one that you sent to prison, the one that they be locking up. I'm like, matter of fact, hey, yo, the police beat True V. They beat him. They had him on the floor. They had the cuffs on him. I think they had his shirt off and everything. I recorded it. I'm demanding, like, yo, what y'all doing to him, whatever. I'm like, yo, they telling people to back up or whatever. I'm demanding, like, hey, yo, like, let him. I'm there with the video. You know what True V did? He took that video to court that I recorded, and he used that video to get out of jail. When he got out of jail, he called me. I went and picked him up. We went and got something to eat, and then I dropped him off down in City Hall because he said he was going down there to go look for a job, I guess. I dropped him off down there. This same True V, he going to tell me people want to kill me. Yeah, I know. Your boss, he already said it on video. That's who Malcolm was talking about. Those niggas that make money from these landlords, these slumlords, these corporations. Dumb niggas. They didn't want him around. They despised him because he was talking about revolution, black liberation, and separation. And the people that work at City Hall, that work in the government, they try to bring people into the government. They're trying to usher our people into assimilation, being part of the system, not changing the system. They want us to be part of the bombing, the killing, the exploitation, the patriarchy. That's what our black, middle class, wealthy people, Spanish people too, whatever. If you got Asian people, they in there too. Whoever's affiliated with that fake political system, that's how they coming. And that's who Malcolm was talking about, that they don't mess with him. I just wanted to get everybody to understand that real quick.
Which is true. And 3 niggas knocked him off. Paid by white establishment. That's my feeling.
Who are those niggas that knocked him off? The FBI, CIA, police department. These are not the people in the hood. Ain't nobody in the projects, no cop, no CIA, no federal agent. I don't know anybody that live in Spires, Academy Spires, or that live in the Velsburg area, or live in the South where I live at, or anywhere in North. That's an FBI agent. I don't know him. These are the people he's talking about knocked off Malcolm. These are the niggas that knocked off Malcolm.
I will feel this as long as I live. And it was afterwards that the resurgence of this man, and suddenly we became aware of all the things that he was saying. Because as long as, doesn't it strike you funny, that as long as Malcolm was preaching separatism, as long as he was preaching such vehemence, he never got hurt at all. It was when he came back from Mecca and he said, we must all live together. We must as black people do our thing, but we must all live on this earth as one, blah, blah. That's when he started getting his house bombed, wiped out months later. Same thing with King. As long as King was heading the marches, they put him in jail. That was it. So he just started talking about Vietnam and the workers and this, that, and the other, getting out of his field of reference, really heavy, too heavy for somebody. Wipe him out. And it's frightening to me. So that's why I say a lot of people will not like any performer. And you try to relate. I'm not talking about relating in terms of, oh, hi, brah, and do the fist, and whatever it is, and hey, man, right on. I'm not talking about the words. I'm talking about in your heart, relating to what the problems are.
And I definitely agree. You cannot relate with nobody that they don't have an economic incentive. When their economic incentive is to exploit you. It don't matter what you're talking about from your heart. You could spit that, you could bad. It don't matter. They don't care. They're gonna come up. They're gonna say something else. You see, that's why I don't even feel like there's any reason to negotiate. It's not even fair. From my analysis, there's no negotiation. The only thing we could do is build our own institutions. And back then, think about it, in the 60s and the 70s, I mean, like, the celebrities wasn't scared. They wasn't scared off of donating the revolutionary organization. So I don't know Sammy Davis Jr. I don't know his background or all that, but I guarantee you he probably gave money to these different organizations, until the FBI, CIA up and told him, you keep doing that, we're going to do you the same way we did Robeson. We're going to do you the same way we did this person, that person. And they probably, and the celebrities start pulling back to where you don't see no celebrities supporting anything revolutionary. And revolutionary mean for the people. No celebrity. I dare anybody to name me one celebrity that's putting their resources and uplifting the people. Just one. All of them do charitable BS, tax write-off, stuff that they could say they're doing something. They're not doing nothing.
Did you say, Ralph? Well, I said the same thing that everybody said, that his assassination was the result of the climate of hate. Only he said the chickens came home to roost, and which means the same thing. Climate of hate means that this is the result of something. And when I said chickens coming home to roost, I mean chickens coming home to roost. I said the same thing.
Listen to what he just said. He created the climate of hate. Y'all know where we're going with this. This is what everybody's been talking about all week. We're going straight to it, but we're going to come at it from a different perspective. It ain't going to be from what you be hearing from the media that's there to brainwash you. You heard what? This is how all our children should be thinking. The way how Malcolm just said that, the way how Malcolm think, that is how every single one of our children, if we want to change the conditions in our community going forward generation to generation, they have to understand the world from that perspective. You created that climate. Remember I told you the people in the 7th Ward, they create nothing. They have no power to do nothing, to infect nothing. He said you created it. You created that atmosphere. And now you're looking around talking about blaming somebody else. No, the chickens came home to roost. And he said, he ended it with, as a farm boy, I'm always happy when my chickens come back to roost. Your chickens came back to roost. What you upset at? Everybody been talking about Charlie Kirk. I got a few videos. I want you to hear, because people probably never even listen to Charlie Kirk. They don't even, when my daughter came and said, they said they killed Charlie Kirk. I'm like, who Charlie Kirk? Because I dismissed him. Because he ain't no different from a whole bunch of KKK propagandists, KKK apologists. He was paid. He was given millions of dollars with security teams, be able to afford nice health care, be able to live in a nice community. He probably got a pool. He probably got fireplace. He go on vacation. They travel. They sit in first class. He got all this stuff, all the beautiful things materialism can afford you. He knows people from the White House to the Congress to the Senate to everything. This dude is not just giving his opinion, how he feels. He's the Joseph Goebbels of this time. That's exactly who he is. To white children in college, young white children. Somebody got to cut your mic off. It's interfering. But that's exactly who he is. And if you don't know who Joseph Goebbels is, Joseph Goebbels was around during the Nazi regime. He was the propagandist for the Nazis. And all these Jews, all these European, all these people in the history book, they talk about how he's the worst person in the world. Those were his opinions he was spreading. He was spreading back then. But how come that don't go the same for him? Because they're telling us he was giving us his opinions. Everything he was doing was his opinions. I want to look up Joseph. Goebbels. I want to read exactly what they say about him. So you know who he is. Paul Joseph Goebbels, who was Berlin chief propagandist for the Nazi Party and then Reich Minister of Propaganda from 1933 to 1945. So he was the propaganda chief. And after he became the propaganda chief, when he left from there, but he went right into the administration. because the government funded it, gave him the platform for him to be able to speak, to reach the masses of people. That all that stuff was funded. What Globus was doing was funded by the people that wanted to control that society. And he went and put out information about the Jews, all kind of stuff that was negative, that dehumanized them, that gave reasons for them to be put inside a gas chamber. He pushed all those ideas. That's what this boy did. But you know what? I don't want to accuse him of nothing. Let him speak for himself.
Should black people get reparations? I believe they should. So I, white man, have to play for black people. Why? Wow, that's a really selfish thing. No, hold on. Why should I have a really non-empathetic thing to say? Wait, why should I have empathy for a race? I have white guilt because I breathe? Why should the white students here have to work harder to pay for black kids? What is that all about? Not every black person has lineage connected to slaves. That's every white person doesn't have lineage connected to slaves. Yes, that's right. So since every black person doesn't have a lineage connected to slaves, why should we generalize and say reparations for black people? Because there are people that are in a worse place. So over 150 years, they didn't have any ability to make better decisions, to save money, and to invest. How about you take responsibility for your own actions instead of blaming the white man?
That's who he was. But listen to the little dog whistle, little racist dog whistle that he was throwing out there. And you see, when you debate children in college that are not, purview to all the information, that really don't understand what they're talking about. Because I remember when I was in college, when I was younger, 18, 19, 20, when I was in college, as I got older, even after that, I still didn't know. I didn't understand how to make these arguments because I didn't have the data. I didn't study. If you're of European descent, I'm getting a feedback. What's that? But anyway, if you're of European descent in America and your family has been here, even if your family hasn't been here, they just came from Europe last week. You benefit from the blood of slaves that built this nation. Because without slavery, there wouldn't be no America. And when you come here, let's say you came today, the institutions that are in place, everything in America is here to give you a hand up as a European, as a white person. Even your ability to come here is easier than anybody from a dark country, from the continent. I'm talking about right now. So when he say, how come people from today have to pay for what they did? They wasn't around. There's no black people that benefited from slavery. What are you talking about? They did slavery from the continent to here, islands, everywhere. Everybody that's in America is from the continent. If you're black, you're from the continent. Slavery has impacted you in one way or other. And it still impacts you. Because remember, every single institution in the United States of America is white supremacist. It's racist. I'm talking about right now. I'm not talking about back then. We're still dealing with the same conditions. You see, but he could sit up there and spew the ideology of the KKK, of white supremacy, to try to deflect, to say, like the people right now, they had no responsibility. No, the government right now, it wasn't the people. It was the government that did it. The government they are supposed to pay for what they did. I don't believe they will ever pay. Because that's not how imperialism works. They're not going to pay you. And even if they give you anything, it's not going to do nothing to change the condition. We want to change the condition. But be that as it may, they owe. They owe more than they can ever pay for the crimes that they have committed. You see, but he sit there and he talk that job, and people that don't know how to deal with him, like they just say whatever. But that's one video. I'm gonna show you. We're gonna learn about Charlie Kirk.
You know what the interesting thing is about, like,
opportunist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed...
Ibrahim, you saying something? My bad. Ibrahim, my bad.
Yeah. I was just gonna say what the interesting thing about Charlie Kirk, Candace Owens, Ben Shapiro is that all of these hate speech, white supremacy propagandists, they don't live up to their own ideology. Charlie Kirk, and like you, I dismissed him too when I seen him just as an ignorant white man with a good head for who went and talked to people who really didn't have like the full capacity to be able to shoot down his lies. But this guy grew up in suburb Chicago to an architect and a clinician. And he himself drops out of community college. Ben Shapiro doesn't have a college degree. Candace Owens doesn't have a college degree. But they run around telling people about meritocracy and all this stuff. They don't even live up to their own ideology. The thing that I found out about him when I was writing about him because of all of the rhetoric that was going on online, I'm like, let me look into this guy because I want to get some words off. So I wrote an article. And I found out, like, man, this guy made tens of millions of dollars as a college dropout going around to college. He created a journalism company without a journalism degree, right? And this is the same guy that's talking about black people who have higher degrees, even from institutions like Ivy League colleges that white people covet, is DEI and not qualified, and they took a white man's degree. So they don't even live up to their own ideology. That's a problem with white supremacy. People who make the rules always win because they just keep changing the goalposts and changing the goalposts. Like if you was talking to this guy, if you pulled up to one of his Turning Point college campus events and started going at this guy, man, you would shut this guy down. He would edit that out, and he would pick somebody who came up and was stuttering and didn't know what they was talking about and say, look, when I went to this college, this is how I was doing these guys, right? He wouldn't show you, though. He wouldn't say, man, this guy came up and cleaned my clock in the first 30 seconds, right? That's not how this stuff works. But the thing is, I just miss this guy because this guy is run of the mill, right? He's low-hanging fruit. He don't even know what he's talking about half the time. The stats that he used, like the fact, one is that black people are 13% of the American population. Okay.
Yeah, we're going to get to that. But everything you said is accurate. I mean, but let's listen to him finish this up.
Citizenry, and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year, so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational.
Boy, for guns. Now, this is what I'm talking about right here. You get to hear him a little bit better. Let's listen to this guy right now.
Black Americans, about 13 to 14% of the population, but half of all prisoners are black. Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes than whites do. They commit more murders, they commit more arsons, they commit more kidnappings. For example, blacks are 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders. Okay.
When I say Joseph Goebbels, you see, this is what the imperialists, the reactionary, the people that run the government, they want to blame black people. They want to blame poor people for the stuff that's going on, for the gentrification they have no hand in. What do I mean by that? And I'm going to explain it to you because we go through it. When the General Secretary look at people paperwork and see how they're throwing them out of their house, how they're pushing them out, she see all the illegal stuff they're doing, like doubling the rents. You go talk to legal aid. Legal aid is giving you information to the landlord. They letting the landlord slide. They trying to find ways to give money to the landlord. And then you go to court, and the judge just try to get you to get up out of there to leave that space. So they just try to cut you a deal. And then once you leave, you're homeless. You can't get another spot because for you to get another spot, you got to make a certain amount of money. Most of the people in Newark make like around $30,000 if you're lucky. But to get a place to live in Newark now, you have to have like $90,000. You have to show you're making like $90,000 to be able to get this to get housing. And that we're talking about affordable housing. The stuff they're supposed to be saying is cheap. But if you're not in our communities, if you're not here, you're not going to understand none of that. You're not going to understand how the system in place is the one that's starving people, and then the jobs don't pay enough. And then they're bringing people to work that are not citizens, so they don't have to pay them what they're supposed to pay them. They cut it down. They pay them slave wages. I mean, to have the people, have the community fight. But if you don't know none of that, if you're not from the community, if you was raised in the suburbs, whatever, you would accept what he's saying. You would accept all the lies he's telling. Because he's not saying this like he made a mistake. He cherry-picking information, and then he designing that information in ways to come and attack those that can protect themselves, those at the bottom of the social ladder. And then he wrap it all around with Christianity and God, and then he push it out there, and they give him millions. Ibrahim just told you, he don't have no journalism degree. He got a company called Turning Point USA. worth millions of dollars. Worth millions of dollars. This dude ain't never don't know nothing. A complete fool. And I'm about to play the video. You're going to hear him. I mean, he's not just somebody giving their opinion. He's a plant. He's a political operative put here to push policies and ideas that kill and throw people into the streets, that bomb people, that justify the lynching of people. So when this person dies, I'm supposed to be sad and be like, yo, even though he pushed all those ideas, even though he justified the killings of George Floyd and everybody, all the black people that you see getting killed, even though he justified it, because he dies, somebody shoots him, I should feel bad that he doesn't deserve to die. He deserves to die. He's a waste of a human being. He shouldn't have been on this planet. And that's how I see it from the data, analytically. If this is what you do, if you take money to dehumanize other human beings, you don't deserve to be amongst the human race. You don't deserve to be around human beings. You're a sociopath. And there's no equivocation about it. There's no one way or the other. Because he would kill me. He would kill me and my family and don't think twice about it. So why am I worried about him? But let him speak again. Let him talk.
Let's talk about it. These are obviously racist claims, but I will respond to them as if Charlie Kirk were a reasonable person.
Black Americans are about 13 to 14% of the population. Yes. About half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's
Listen to that, because most people always think it's more. It may be more. Like, let's say we're in Hudson County, and Hudson County is mostly white people. But like 60, 70, 80% of people that's in jail, that's locked up in the county jails, all this, it's all black people. You see the number, you're like, damn, it's 60, 70%. But in the whole totality of America, only 38% of the people that are in prison, not only, because we're only like 13%, according to their numbers. Remember, we're just going by their numbers. According to their numbers, it's only 13%, but we shouldn't make up 38% of the people in prison. But those are the social constructs. Those are the social constructs put in. That's why it's always more women than men, because the men are criminalized to be locked up. That they go in there and police their community. If you go into white communities and you go into their houses and kick their houses out, you pull them over, they got drugs too. They got you will find reasons to lock them up, but they don't do that in those communities. They don't do that in the richer communities. They only come to our communities, and I've seen them. A young boy like 12, 13 years old going up the steps, they're stripping them butt naked in the staircase. I got the videos, and I'm there confronting them. What the F are you doing? How dare you do that? Challenging them, because the community have become complacent. Like they don't know no better. The reason why we must build our own institutions to teach our people, so they could think like Malcolm. Our people think all these things is acceptable for the police, and it's a black officer, it's a Spanish officer, it's a Latin officer, it's a whatever that's doing it. They don't even care. But like he said, only 38%. He said 50. Well, whatever he said. Whatever he said. I'm bringing back a little bit. Let him lie again.
14% of the population. Yes. About half of all prisoners are black.
Wrong. Just 38% of America's prison population is black. That's according to the U.S. government. It makes you wonder why Charlie feels the need to add an additional 12% to the black prison population. Could it be because his bigoted talking points only work if he exaggerates? If Charlie were actually looking for the race that makes up half the prison population in the U.S., he'd look no further than white people at 57%.
Exactly. So blacks commit more crimes than whites do.
Wrong. The word "so" is doing a lot of heavy lifting.
No, and I want to talk about that for a second. They commit the crime, and anybody could chime in. Hey, what is crime? What is crime? Who dictates what's crime? What I'm explaining to you about politicians joining with corporations to kick people out of their homes illegally, and the politicians not holding these slumlords, these corporations accountable. That is crime. That is crime of the highest level against the people. But that's not, when they talk about crime, they talk about crime is going down. Crime coming down. This crime this, crime that. They're not talking about that kind of crime. They're talking about purse snatchers. People selling weed and coke, selling drugs, gangbangers. They're not talking about people dropping bombs on people. See, that's not crime to them. They don't even bother about that. On here, we're going to name what crime is. That is crime. That is violence. When you're throwing people out into the streets, you're throwing a whole family out into the streets for them to be homeless, man, that's worse than putting a bullet and shooting somebody or robbing somebody or selling them weed. You cannot convince me. I need you to convince me that selling drugs, somebody selling drugs outside, somebody in a gang is more of a criminal of somebody dropping bombs on people. Convicted of rape, got them on video, hugging, kissing little kids. Or tell me, I want you to convince me, a drug dealer, somebody outside with a hoodie on, even a purse snatcher. I don't care if they rob someone, they got a gun, they robbing you for like the $20 you got in your pocket. Compare that person to somebody dropping bombs. Somebody taking money from corporations, from all these people to poison people's water, poison the air. See, but those conversations are not had. We always only talk about drug dealers because they make the conversation. They spin the narrative.
Blacks commit more crime.
He's saying so, as in therefore, as in one could conclude. But Charlie knows he's lying. Even if he hadn't just lied about the black prison population, Charlie is smart enough to know that correlation does not equal causation. But he's hoping that you don't know that. So he deploys the word so to make you think he's coming to an obvious conclusion. So blacks, instead, he's making an illogical, racist leap. Charlie knows that we don't have usable data about who commits crimes. It's impossible to have that data since so many crimes go both unreported and or unsolved. Charlie knows that we only have data about a...
And you see that? When he do that, so many crimes go unreported or unsolved. Yo, the freaking crime, the crimes that imperialism commit, that capitalism commit every single day, every single minute, all of that is just dismissed. People just act like that's not crime. That's not spoken about. That's normal. That's why Trump is president. That's what Malcolm was talking about when you create this atmosphere where criminality is legal, it's acceptable. You create the atmosphere that we are living in now.
Arrests and convictions. I'll come back to that data in a moment. What's painfully obvious is that Charlie Kirk isn't interested in understanding the statistics he so carelessly misquotes. He's interested in making bad faith arguments, something that becomes even more obvious in his next point.
Blacks are 13% of the population, and they commit 58% of all the murders.
Wrong again, and loud this time. If Charlie were interested in honesty, he would have mentioned the other 1350 statistic. Yes, black people are about 13% of the population, but make up 53% of all criminal exonerations. In fact, black people make up 55% of all murder exonerations.
So boom. So think about that. Remember they said about what 30-some% of the people in prison are black people? Yo, but when you go for exoneration, when they go look, if you're lucky enough, if you can afford a lawyer for somebody to look at your case and they look at it, they leave. And people that are not even supposed to be there, that are not guilty. Because the system is constructed to remove them from the society, to criminalize them. That's why you have those disparity in numbers. You see, but we don't talk about that as a crime. We don't talk about all this stuff, all these things that we know. When people say systemic, people don't even understand really in their mind what they mean by systemic. They don't understand. This is systemic. This is systemic crime that we don't deal with, that we don't never discuss. You see how he speaks about it? He goes past it. He just talks about these things. These are the crimes right here. Those are the real crimes against the people.
Specific, black people are more likely than any other group in this country to be convicted of crimes they did not commit. And then people like you have the nerve to parade these stats around as though they prove something. And the reality is that you probably know these stats, but you leave them out on purpose, because to bring that stat into this conversation would make some people think. And that's the last thing a person like you wants.
Word. That's the last thing he wants people to do. He doesn't want people to think. He doesn't want them. He want more of them. He's going to get more.
Judea and Samaria. It's not Palestine.
You don't believe that Palestine have the right to exist?
No. Everyone has a right to exist. Show me where it is. It's a non-existent place.
Yeah, I don't think we're getting.
That's why we're on different planets, right? But what is the national identity of Palestine? Educate me.
Palestine is.
What is that? Wait, what do you mean? What is that? Yeah, what ethnicity are they? Arabs? Okay, so all Arabs are Palestinians? No, but they are Arabs.
See the ignorant stuff he say? You see, that's why I don't talk to people. People like this, remember I said I cut them off. I just kept on going, whatever. There's nothing. As Panthers, we believe in ideological struggle. You come with your ideas, I come with my ideas, and we show scientifically why we believe what we believe. But when you're coming, you're getting paid. Look at that smirk on his face. That's why they cut his ice box off. That's why they turned his TV off. Look at that smirk. He's not coming with no ideas. He's there to try to dehumanize people. The Palestinian people. What is that? What is the nation? As if those people haven't been there for hundreds of years. See, but he supports the destruction of those people. He supports imperialism. He supports going in there killing all those people so his friends, the people that fund his company, Turning Point, USA, that spews all this dehumanizing rhetoric, propaganda. Why he's a propagandist. Remember, I called him Joseph Goebbels. So if Joseph Goebbels was allowed today, all that stuff was just his opinion. See, but you can't have those conversations with them. Yo, that smirk get on my nerve, bro.
Chairman.
Yo.
Charlie Kirk reminds me of the guy in the movie Knives Out, the one who wanted to solve his own murder.
Yeah.
And the detective found out from the first day he met him that he was full of shit.
Yeah.
He kept on making up big words that don't like he'll say. What's that word that Ty made? Colonization, or some shit like that?
Yeah.
That's what he does. He just says a bunch of basic, untrue shit that people eat up because, again, our level of education is so low. When people hear somebody like them, they think like, oh, he's smart. I don't understand. Like, I understand why he has a following because American educational system just did a
Nah.
If you listen to him and pay attention to, he is the dumbest.
No, but that's not what it is. Yo, that's not what it is. He's not trying to find people that are smart.
I know he's not, but I'm just saying he himself is not even, like, he has no brain power.
No, you're 100% correct. Yo, what people like this do, they give arguments to people that feel and think the way that they think. They are there to be, like, they give cover for those people. That's what he's not trying to convince anybody that he knows anything. He's just trying to appeal to the other racists. And he knows they're all racist because he grew up with them. He knows how they think. He's just saying what they're not going to say in public, whatever, popular culture. That's all he's doing. Alexa, did you have your hand up?
I'll wait till after you're done.
All power to the people.
What you trying to say?
I'm trying to say because at what point does somebody become a Palestinian?
When he was born in Palestine or with his parents or Palestinian?
Again, this is why we're talking past each other.
What you trying to say?
I don't think the place exists.
What?
Because it doesn't. It's called Judean Semitic.
Look at him. It doesn't exist. To think you could just wipe people off the planet. He's a sociopath. He's a sociopath, plain and simple. And this is what happened to him. He was out there. Now look, he's on a college, right? He's doing a college tour, and they give him all them people come out there to see him. You and I would never be. Somebody got to cut their mic off. But you and I would never be given that platform, that space to be able to talk to people. I would never be given that space to be able to talk to people about the Philadelphia Negro. They would never. But he has connections from the schools, from the White House, from the Congress, from everywhere. And they just take him around. They take him to all these college campuses to spew this rhetoric, this hatred, to dehumanize a whole group of people. They take him around. And then people say, like, opinions. He was a political operative. He didn't give opinions. He wasn't a journalist. He was a propagandist. And this is what happened. A couple of days ago, he was at one of them college things giving a speech, and this is what we all saw.
and gang violence.
Great. Great.
That's what we all saw. I didn't feel sorry. When I saw it, I didn't feel sorry about him at all. Word up. People, if you are against the people, if you support policies, you support killing people, bombing people, shooting people, lynching people, you are enemy of the people. Whatever fate comes to you, you deserve it. We are at war. So why should I feel sorry for you or feel sorry for him? You see, but the popular culture, those in power, they want you to see him and see the rhetoric, everything that he's been doing, that he's been saying, his work. They want you to see it as normal. They want you to normalize it. That is why they're on Democrats and Republicans. They're all on there. They say he shouldn't have died for what you could say what you want. No, nobody deserves to die. Football players, everybody's saying the same crap. You don't deserve to die, but people deserve to be homeless. People deserve to be pushed out of their homes, made to work 3-4 jobs. People deserve that because all of that is done by the armed guards, the police, and the politicians. The police are here to protect the politicians that pass these laws to give all the resources to the corporations, to the wealthy. That is the society that we're living in. There's no democracy. There's no freedom of speech. And when you go to the people, these were students. These are normal people. They're asking them how they feel about Charlie Kirk. Listen to what the people, the children, what they're saying.
Asking students what they think about Charlie Kirk's murder yesterday. Do you have an opinion you want to share with us?
You gotta call me, I guess.
Huh?
You gotta call me, I guess.
Live by the sword, die by the sword.
What does that mean? Can you expand on that?
No.
Do y'all have an opinion about Charlie Kirk's murder yesterday?
I feel bad for his family, but it's what he advocated for.
I don't feel bad for his family. His family eat that food. His family spend that money. His family live in that house. His family benefit from the suffering of others. I don't feel nothing for his family, just like they don't feel nothing for our families.
He advocated to be killed? Asking students what do they think about Charlie Kirk's murder yesterday. Do you have an opinion?
God takes care of it.
You said God takes care of what? Wild. Hey, we're asking students what do they think about Charlie Kirk's murder yesterday. Do you have any opinion about it? Do you know who he is?
You heard that? Do you know who he is? You saw he asked the black person, do you know who Charlie Kirk is? Because the black person is not politically inclined. Like, he don't do politics. He wouldn't know who that is. That's why he asked him that. You see, like, their biases just ooze out. That's a Freudian slip. But I caught it, my guy. I caught it.
None that I should say on social media. What does that mean?
You know what that means.
Justifying it?
You know what that means. You're justifying it. You see how they're trying to push people? They're justifying it. Keep listening. I want you to hear something.
And the murder of Charlie Kirk?
I do not condemn murder.
Do you believe that it's justified, this assassination?
Justified? I mean, at the end of the day, it is.
He said at the end of the day, it is. We're still going. There's something I want you to hear.
Do you support his death?
I do.
You support his death?
Oh, Charlie Kirk.
You support Charlie Kirk being killed?
Yes, I do.
On the day he died, you're here at a vigil for Charlie Kirk and you support his death.
You support a Nazi?
No, I don't support a Nazi. Charlie Kirk wasn't a Nazi. You supported.
Yes, he was a Nazi. That's the world we live in. We're going to tell the truth. He was a Nazi. He had Nazi views. He had racist views. He was an imperialist. That's who Charlie Kirk was, and that's why people despise him.
You support his shooter? You support Charlie Kirk's shooter? Would you shoot somebody like Charlie Kirk? You would have killed him yourself. Okay. You have a job here in Seattle?
Boom. You heard him? You have a job here in Seattle. Remember they always talking about...
That's what this is about. It's about he's trying to lynch somebody socially.
Yes. That's what he's doing. That's exactly what he's doing. That's why they're going around getting all these videos. Because, like, people been fired already. People been fired. But now, that's the people. All that video, those were the people. These are the politicians in position of power. Listen to how they talk about Charlie.
Rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family.
They want to give this person that you've been listening to. They want to give him a moment of whatever. in our government building, because we all pay taxes. This person that dehumanizes, that talked about us like this, they want to do that. This is what the politicians. They fight amongst themselves.
Let's wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. The House will be in order.
That's what we own. That's what we pay taxes. All those people there, you pay their taxes. You pay all their salaries. When you go to work, them 3 jobs, they take money out your check to pay their salaries. Even though then they go in there, they commit fraud. They do all kind of fraud for them to become millionaires. I mean, but we pay their salaries. That's a couple of $100,000. It usually comes from our paychecks. And this is who they're holding up. This is who they're giving Medal of Honor and all kind of stuff to. This is in Europe. They try to pull the same thing out there. I mean, but they watch it. EU Parliament refuses moment of silence for Charlie Kirk. Yo, all these people are refusing it because they know who this person is. You see, when we in the hood, we hear our celebrities, the football players, they're talking about something. How you gonna feel bad for somebody that was killed and stuff for their opinion? Because they're trying to brainwash you. Stephen A. Smith. Because they're part of that community. Remember when we showed on Philadelphia Negro where the people live at? Where the masses of our people live at in the 7th Ward, and then they showed them other people that live in the other communities closer to white people. That's Stephen A. Smith and them. The politicians, those people in that community. That's dumb. They'll tell us like we should feel for his family. To hell with his family. To hell with his family. Yo, and the baby. I don't care about the baby. F your baby. F the kids. I mean, cause like if you was around during Nocturne time, what would Stephen A. Smith say? What's his name? Jackson, Lamar Jackson. Because these are the people that I see him putting out stuff out there saying we should feel sorry for this sociopath, this Nazi and his family. Yo, I would have stood with that. Cut off all their heads. I would have joined them. Cut off all their heads. I would have joined them. Because I wouldn't have been a Panther then. I wouldn't understand how to build institutions. I would just be reactionary. And I would join them. But I'm not reactionary now. I'm a Panther. We understand if you want to change anything in your community, we have to build institutions that produce minds that's not going to fall for the banana and the tailpipe. We understand that. I was going to go through this and listen to it. You know what? I'm going to play a couple of minutes. We got to hurry up and wrap this up. But I'm going to play a couple of minutes because I want you to hear how they're talking about it. This is supposed to be independent media. Listen to how they're talking about it. They sound just like the mainstream media.
Donald Trump calls Jack Ciattarelli 100%
commercials. That's YouTube.
Wholeheartedly, Ciattarelli supported Trump's Medicaid cuts, targeting 300,000 in Jersey. Jack Ciattarelli, 100% MAGA, wrong from New Jersey.
All of you are wrong.
Build a website you love with Wix. For your words, create your brand.
And, I've been thinking, kind of racking my brain for comparisons. And in modern American history, there really are none. I mean, Charlie, and you could kind of call him whatever you want. He was a conservative activist. He was an influencer, YouTuber, and that's part of why I think, some...
You heard what he called him? Conservative activist or YouTuber. That's what the same person we saw in that video, that's what he calling him.
Many of us who also do very similar jobs and participate in some similar events are so shaken and struck by it, and it's because everyone has participated, at least in some form, in something like this. For more modern comparisons, I mean, I'm not saying that they're one-to-one, but obviously we had in the 1960s, we had the assassinations of people like Malcolm X or MLK Jr. You did have a period of a lot of violence, political violence in the 1970s, the Weather Underground, the Symbionese Liberation Army. the kidnapping of Patty Hearst. I mean, it was a crazy time, and we have talked a lot about on the show over the years about the comparison to the 1970s, and that's actually almost immediately what I came to. But there's some really darker ones as well that actually Ryan was reminding of, and I had to go back and really to look because I'd only read about them in passing, but probably, maybe the more one-to-one comparison would be a guy like Elijah Lovejoy. He was actually an abolitionist newspaper editor in 1837 who was actually killed.
You hear this scumbag? Because they all work together. You heard this scumbag? An abolitionist journalist.
He didn't even mention Martin Luther King.
No. But I don't want him to mention them. He's not like them. Charlie Kirk.
No, but I'm saying he's saying that people are died, killed for their opinion or whatever, and he had to go far back as the abolition era.
He's not just talking about people. He's not just talking about people that died. He's trying to say.
He mentioned King and Malcolm as well. I'm just interested why he never mentioned any racist white supremacist who propagandized like the same hate speech that Charlie did. Why are you mentioning abolitionists and people who advocated for human rights and civil rights?
Right.
Opposite from him. Directly opposite from what Charlie Kirk did. You went all the way back. You see, that's why I say these people know what they're doing. Because he knows he's a scumbag just like Kirk too. He knows both of them. I mean, they call themselves independent. They call themselves on the left. But they support the same politicians, the same institutions. They hold it up. Because if they didn't, they wouldn't be allowed to exist. Let's listen to him some more.
By a pro-slavery mob. And it was actually quite common during the Civil War era where...
delivering safe, clean, reliable, and affordable water to your family and ours.
Yeah.
Pro-abolitionists and or anti-secessionists and others in the South, journalists, political editors, people who would express those types of opinions were killed for their political beliefs and for putting that out there. But that is how far back I would have to go actually to even find a comparison. To keep it in the realm of Luigi Mangione, I've talked about this here on the show, also because of Luigi's own predilections for Japanese culture, but in the early 1930s, 20s and 30s, in the rise of the Japanese militarist state, there was a concept called gekokujo, which means kind of like from the bottom to the top, and it entailed high-profile assassination. And assassination was not something just limited to the government, although it was largely conducted. It was to target political leaders, opinion leaders, others, for people to create a purpose of kind of moving towards militarism. Again, they're not one-to-one, but the same social forces are not all that rare. I could also think to the anarchist movements of the early 1900s, Gilded Age, oligarchs were targeted, columnists and others. Again, they weren't assassinated, but that's part of what makes this, I think, so extraordinary. And it's so crazy that we're talking, I don't know, I mean, it's difficult to describe because it's not the same as 9/11, obviously, but it does just feel like a Rubicon was crossed yesterday.
Yeah.
I mean, he was murdered, and he was assassinated in cold blood in front of thousands of people in 4K HD.
In front of the world. Yeah. Live streamed.
And, for those of us who were in the news business, we experienced his death at like a very visceral level. And we saw the blood literally...
This is not news business. Like, listen to that. Those of us who are in the news business, all these people are propagandists. These people don't give you the news. They give you what the state, what the government, what the politicians, what the police say. They're confirmed, whatever, lies. That is what these people propagate to you. They don't do their own investigation. So you're not a journalist.
And the life, leave his body.
You're a scribe. A scribe is like a secretary, somebody that just dictate what whoever is telling them to say does. That's what they are.
Mouthpiece.
Yeah, a mouthpiece. Yeah, you a scribe.
And I don't know. For some, it's really poignant. I think to me that it's 24 years now after 9/11, and it does feel like a very different country.
Listen to his voice try to break. He's acting now. Now he's putting it on like he really believed the crap he's saying. Think back. The same person that we've been listening to. He said that he compared that person to somebody that was trying to fight against slavery. He knows better. He know that ain't what Charlie Kirk did, but that's who he trying to associate him with. Now he's trying to act like he crying. He feels so bad.
I hope I'm not exaggerating or overreacting, but yep, you know, and then we were thinking about Butler, but that's, I mean, I hate to say it, but like that's part of American political history. We've had multiple presidents who have been assassinated. We've had the caning of Charles Sumner. You know, legislators. It's not like it was insane, right? To think.
Go to the website you love.
Oh God.
With wigs. Were your words?
About it's not like it was insane to think about the death or the targeting of political legislators, but now it feels like people who engage in American public life itself very recently, from Charlie and also these the recent Minnesota attack that was only a couple of months ago, where these were state legislators. They're not household names.
The president.
Yeah,
right.
These are not even a congressman, not a senator, nothing, right?
State reps and state senators.
Senator, I don't even know who my state senator is.
Yo, I really wish, we passed 2 hours. I really wish I could stay here and really break this down for you. Hey, yo, I got my fantasy football. I'm trying to win this money, $1 in a dream. Yo, I be betting $1 trying to get 10,000 back from FanDuel. I mean, I'm trying to get my bread. Plus, we can't keep this up. We can't take the whole show up. I mean, I don't want to drag this on. So I want to play this whole thing. Yo, when you listen to these people talk, because he's going to go on to tell you how they're friends, how he's friends with Charlie Kirk, how he feels bad for his family, feel bad for all of this, feel bad for the climate that has been produced. Let me tell you a secret. Yo, come here, let me tell you a secret. Yo, all this political assassinations that's going on, the people ain't got nothing to do with it. The people ain't got nothing to do with it. Yo, the people don't have money to give this people to go over there and do this fake false flags and all of this. The people ain't got nothing to do with it. Yo, it has nothing to do with no climate of us. You know what's going on? The people in power are fighting amongst each other. And they're knocking each other off. It ain't the people. It's not the average organization, non-profit out here. It's not even a revolutionary organization. It ain't really that. It ain't even. I really don't know any revolutionary organization that's gonna be out here taking people out. So like, it ain't got nothing to do with us. They're fighting amongst each other. They're powerful. You see, when they get to a point where they can't come to an understanding. This is the wealthy in history. When I took my history class, I took a history course with this professor. It was, I think, Cuban history, and he was like naming the things that you needed to have a revolution. And he said one of the most important things you needed to be able to have a revolution, those in power, the money class, the oligarchs, they must be in fight with each other. They got to be fighting each other, and that gives the space for the revolutionaries to be able to get their stuff together, to be able to get resources and people to fund them, to be able to fight back. Yo, we are nowhere close there. There are no revolutionary organization that gain money or access or anything from anywhere. Where we are at, and the crime of this organization that say they're revolutionary in our communities, is they haven't prepared for this moment where these people are now having political assassination, killing each other. They could come out and spin the story. We about to go on. You about to see who they say did it. You about to listen to them. Yo, listen to them.
If anyone in the sound of my voice celebrated even a little bit at the news of this shooting, I would beg you to look in the mirror.
See, this is the politicians. This is a Republican politician out in Utah. They condone the stuff he say. They agree with the stuff he say. He probably KKK too. I don't know, but most likely he think like a KKK person. He's celebrating a KKK person that spew KKK rhetoric. You see, I'm not lying on him. He's standing up here taking up for bruh that spewed all that ignorance. Listen to him.
and to see if you can find a better angel in there somewhere.
Better angel in there somewhere.
I don't care what his politics are.
I do.
I care that he was an American.
Yo, politics is a struggle for resources. Politics is a struggle for resources. If his politics is against you getting resources, you getting reparations, he's against you. His politics is against you. So if I don't agree with his politics, he don't like that means we fundamentally have a disagreement in humanity. And I'm not, when you die, I'm not.
They won't say that for Farrakhan.
Exactly. They ain't say that. They will never say that for Farrakhan. Never. But listen to him. Listen to him. Crying. He about to cry.
We desperately need our country. We desperately need leaders in our country. But more than the leaders, we just need every single person in this country to think about where we are and where we want to be.
That's on BBC. Now, I wanted to stop it before. You see, it's on BBC. They're putting this out all across the world. This is how they want the world. People in Africa. You see, people in Africa, that's what they see. People in Africa don't hear me. They see this. So they're thinking like, damn, Charlie Kirk, man, damn. And they really don't know who Charlie Kirk is. People around the world, BBC, this is what they're pushing out. This is why we need to make our own stuff. But anyway, you heard what he said. He said the people in America. What the people got to do with anything? The people ain't got nothing to do with nothing. Yo, the people want health care. The people want to get paid more. The people are tired of gentrification. The people don't want criminals as their politicians. The people don't want criminals to going in office, ignore the people, and start betting on Wall Street and becoming a millionaire. That's not what the people want. You built this climate where you're fighting rich people fighting other rich people. That's the climate y'all built all around the world. What are you talking about, people? Because they're all frauds and liars. Look at this guy right here. Yo, for the life of me, dog. Who is he? Cash Patel takes credit for arrest. The shooter turned himself in. What is he? FBI, CIA? Which one is he?
I think he's the FBI.
Oh my God.
Yo, he's head of the FBI.
Oh, this is the head, bro. This dude is the worst, bro. When you look at these people, you know they're not even supposed to be in those positions, bro. You could just look at them and tell. Then after you listen to them, you be like, yeah. Yo, look at this clown while he's talking. And then listen to what he's talking about.
This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
Oh, my bad. That one we're just talking about. I thought this is the one where you're going to talk about Valhalla. I don't have that up here. But he's talking about something. I'm going to see you in Valhalla. That boy look right to you. He look like he from.
This is what happens when the good cops.
Where's Valhalla? The Vikings.
But let's stop right there. Again, the police don't solve no crime. That man's family turned him in. The police. I don't know why he up there congratulating anybody.
No, because his father a cop. His father is a cop, so his father turns his own son in. Because he a cop. You can't trust no pig.
That was also a lie to make law enforcement look better. His father has no affiliation with the police.
That's a lie too?
That was a lie too.
You see me repeating the lie?
That's crazy.
You repeating mainstream lies. Shame on you, Chairman.
Yeah, I'm up here repeating the lie. But none of us are exempt. None of us. But look at this dude. He look like he's from Sweden. But when you come over here, it's about class. He look like he's Indian somewhere. Cash Patel. Oh, Patel. What's that? What's that?
Yeah, I think that's Indian.
It's India.
India. And he talking about something. I'll see you in Valhalla. They start talking crazy, man. Boy, crazy. Man, I'm telling you. But listen to this one. This is before they caught him. Listen to this politician. You heard what the people were saying. People say he deserved to die. Shit, I would have killed him myself. That's what the people would say. Listen to the politician. And listen to who they're blaming.
I'm going to say this. Democrats own what happened today. I am devastated.
By that logic, do Republicans own the shooting of the two Democratic lawmakers in Minnesota?
Isn't
this on both sides?
Are you kidding me?
After they found out that it was a white boy, well, And I'm not going to do that. See, I just made a mistake. After they said it was a white boy that his father told on him, after they done came up with a story and they gave us a story, this is how she's reacting to it. We know Charlie Kirk would want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We would try to do the same. As soon as it's a Mormon, a white boy that they got out there for the crime. So if it was a black dude, Spanish dude, an immigrant, these savages, we must remove these savages from the streets. That's the conversation they're gonna have. That's who these people. No, go ahead.
They would have been like, oh, he needs the death penalty. He's a threat to society. This, that, and that. Man, listen, we could go on and on and on. Anytime something go wrong with these mass shootings, elementary school shootings, mall shootings, it's always the white people, but they somehow manage to flip it and be like, well, oh, black people this, black people that. Man, look.
I ain't hear nobody say his parents should be locked up. But as soon as some kid in North somebody do something in our communities, the parents should go to jail too. You should lock the parents up.
It starts at home. It starts at home.
They would have been coming for you too, Alexis. If it was somebody, if I did it, they're coming for your ass. They're coming for all of y'all.
They're coming for all of us.
They're coming for all of y'all. Y'all support this Negro. But this dude, he do it. We got to pray for him.
We got to give him flowers. We got to give him cake. We got to arrest him. Then we got to take him to Burger King.
Yeah.
For shit like that.
Yo, these people is savages. And listen to this people. Look, this is what they've been waiting for. You know how long they've been waiting to sing this song right here? Yo, they've been waiting to sing this song forever. Just like they've been wanting to say the N-word. Listen to them. Who are you fighting, white man? I ain't do nothing to you. Why would you come fight me? I could barely afford to pop the pitch in the window to throw it out of. I ain't do nothing to you, bruh. But these people, they go out there, this KKK, this modern day KKK, look at them. They don't need no hoods. They got their ideology. Look at them. This is the modern day KKK. All of them. All these people with this ideology is the modern day KKK. Because the KKK, and being that kind of person, is the ideology, the way you think, the way you see people. They think white men are under attack. That's what the problem is. White man fight back. White man fight back. That's how that's what they want people to think is the problem. And look at them. They don't look like they're starving. These are all people getting paid. You want to say something, Alexis?
Nah.
That lead to
the irony about all of this stuff is that there was a guy asking him about school shooting, and his last words was, what about gang violence, and then he got killed. They never want to focus on their own group. All of their solutions is how do we marginalize other groups to help us. That's what the solution going over in Palestine is, right? Some white people was oppressing white people in Europe, and y'all solution was take some brown people land. When you heard the governor of Utah said, I was praying that it was some immigrants or some Muslims or something else. But now that they know it came from their community, a white Mormon family, they don't have no solution for that. They asked Trump on Fox News in the morning. They said, what are you going to do to put this country back together? He said, you know what? I don't care, right? Because they never want to focus on their own crimes. Their whole focus is to focus on other people. They can never self-reflect because they are the problem. They are the issue. I think that's the funny irony in all of this stuff is how much they can't focus on what the true domestic terrorist is in this country, but also the greatest terrorist and the threat to freedom and liberties in this world.
Yeah, no, you're right. I'm trying to put something on. Hold on. Let me turn the volume down so I could be able to do this. Come on, man. Why they keep? Hold on, I'm coming. Now I want to show that. That's what I wanted to show in that video, in this Turning Points video. I want to show them say
Donald Trump calls Jack Ciattarelli.
I want to show them saying what you said. Well, some of the stuff you said.
Of Charlie Kirk on a college campus in Utah. Charlie inspired millions, and tonight all who knew him and loved him are united in shock and horror. Charlie was a patriot who devoted his life to the cause of open debate and the country that he loved so much, the United States of America. He fought for liberty, democracy, justice, and the American people. He's a martyr for truth and freedom, and there's never been anyone who was so respected by youth.
Delivering safe, clean, reliable.
This is getting on my nerve. No, but that's the precedent lying to the people. This is what the imperialists want you to think. And I said when I started, I wanted to bring up that quote, because in that quote it tells you, don't ever listen to these people. You cannot trust nothing they're telling you. When they open their mouth, they're lying.
That lead to hateful action.
And when we talk about free speech, they fired him. They fired him because they said his speech.
And I think that's the environment we're in, that people just, you can't stop with these sort of awful thoughts you have and then saying these awful words and not expect awful actions to take place. Nah. And that's the unfortunate.
They fired him. That MSNBC fired him for saying that. Even though MSNBC is supposed to be liberal, democratic, and they're supposed to be against everything that Charlie Kirk stood for, they fired him because they're a corporation. They work for the oligarchs. They want him to push that Charlie Kirk was a hero. That everything he said, the stuff he said, that's how we're supposed to move, how we're supposed to think. So they fired him. So when you telling me like there's free speech, you can say what you want. That's what homeboy was trying to do in the video. Trying to get people to say stuff so he could show it to their job so they could fire them. But then they'll turn around and tell you, we're fighting for free speech, for you to be able to say what you want to say. There's nothing free here. And those companies will fire you because we don't live in a democracy. We live in an oligarchy where the rich determine the rules. And then they told us that this is who did it. They dragging him out. They didn't even pick his pants up. You come to find out he didn't even do it. That's not who did it. They say this is the person that did it, running off the building. They say this is who did it. They said he came, like he went over, got on the building, went over there, shot somebody, no cover, no nothing, just jumped down. He put something over there first. Let me see. He jumped down. His gun is probably in there, whatever, his rifle, whatever. I don't know. But look, that's what they saying did it. That's what they saying did the crime. But I don't believe nothing these people say. They're lying. There you go, right here.
Congratulations. You have been selected to receive the Resident Presidential Scholarship from Utah State University. The value of this scholarship is approximately $32,000.
But that's what they're saying did it. And after it came out, like that's what they're saying did it, they stopped all that racist stuff, all this we got to come after. I mean, like they stopped all that rhetoric. Now they're saying, damn, yo, listen to them like.
You know, that stuff happens. And for 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
If this had to happen, that it wouldn't be one of us. Republican, white, conservative. It was a Negro. It was an undocumented person. It was the LGBTQ. It was trans person. It was somebody this. It wouldn't be the people that's always doing it. It wouldn't be them. I'm not even going to play her. There's a whole African in Africa crying about Charlie Kirk. I don't even want to play it, bro. What is this? Yo, I'm going to tell you something, yo. You Africans, yo, my father, my mother's African. I lived in Africa. And, yo, sometimes, yo, these people annoy the out of me, yo. I'm telling you. Because I know Africans like this. Yo, my sister's probably crying right now for Charlie Kirk. My African sister, bro. Look at her face. She's not faking, bro. This is not America. Oh, God, this is not America. What you know about America? They be making me look bad. I be feeling some type of way, son. I be feeling some type of way. Hey, yo, but why? Why is all this stuff going on in the community? Why are we dealing with all this political stuff in the community? Why people hate politicians in the community? Hey, yo, that's the chief of staff to the mayor in our city in Newark, New Jersey. That's the mayor's brother. See, he put his family into office. All of them, they eating. They getting bonuses. They moving. Like the budget, he about to tell you, the budget don't change. Nothing changes in the budget year after year, even though the price for everything is going up. The budget, what they're doing for the city, none of that changes. You know what changes? Their salaries. They continue to pay each other more and more money. I mean, if I had more time, I would have went into the story about how much money, all of that. But listen, so he goes in there, he's in front of the city council. You see they still got their glass thing up. See, they separate themselves from the people. Look how many people in there. People don't believe in this system no more. They don't believe going down to City Hall is going to do anything. Look, the thing is empty. It's only people that work at City Hall. People that, I mean, those are the only people that participate in this fake system anymore. But listen to what he say. He's supposed to bring the budget up. He's been late. They late as hell on the budget. The city council up there, but the city council members all work for the mayor. They're all part of the mayor's team. They run for office on the mayor's team. So now it's supposed to be checks and balances. You're supposed to be holding the mayor accountable because they say we live in a democracy. You're supposed to be holding the mayor accountable. And look at these Negroes. They're not white. These are black people. Listen to what they say, yo. And then listen to the voice you're going to hear in the background as the head council person. Listen to these people. This is sickening.
Good afternoon. Midi Baraka, Chief of Staff to Mayor Baraka. Unfortunately, my clerk is on vacation. She created this budget, and she left me on high.
His clerk is on vacation. She created a budget. Like he acting like he just found out 30 minutes ago, an hour ago, that he had to be here. But he's saying for his excuse, my clerk is on vacation. Where else can you say this? Where else can you do stuff like this? Look at him grinning. You see, this is not personal attack. This is a disgrace and insult to the people of the city to behave like this. But listen to the person he's talking to, the head council person that's supposed to be holding the checks and balances and keeping these people accountable. Listen.
Oh. I'm ready. Any questions that you have? There's no significant changes.
Oh, no, you heard him.
Oh.
You hear that?
Left me on high. Oh.
Listen again.
Did this budget, she left me on high. Oh.
That's the head of the council. That's the council president. He gave that BS excuse. And because they're on the same team, they're all working together, you heard him? Oh, man. So you don't have the budget. That's late. That's months late. You don't have it again. All right. Listen.
I'm ready. Any questions that you have? There's no significant changes in the budget, except, of course, the salary increase due to...
There's no significant whatever in the budget except for salary increases. Remember we started talking about class? Du Bois said when you move over this way, you move over there to where the black politicians and all these people live at, the ones that escaped the projects and all of that. Like these people are criminal, they're worse. He's talking about dumb. These are the Uncle Toms and the sellout back then. But let's finish this out.
21, and that's from 2023, 2024, up to 2025.
Thank you. Questions from the council?
I don't have a budget in front, so
you don't?
He said I don't have a budget in front of me. Go ahead. Somebody got their hands up. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's me. I just have a little context for the budget. The budget was due April of this year. The budget has been late for since mayor's been the mayor. He hired this BA, business administrator, who's responsible for the budget. Every single year it's been late. It was due in April. We're going into October. Another reason why our taxes is going up, because again, it's called reassessment value. The way that Newark was assessing our properties was not up to speed. So then we got a penalty, over $20 million that we got to pay. And then they borrowed, I think, another $30 million from the state to plug in the budget holes, because they went and spent all this money. Nobody knows where the money is. So now our taxes is going up. The budgets are never on time. With 3 months left in a year, and they're asking for money that they've already spent, and then our next budget's going to be late, which is going to increase our taxes more. And to your point where the city council, they allow all this to go down. They keep people like Mitty and the BA will go up there and be like, oh, we'll have it next week. We're working on it. We're working on it. When they come to present the budget, every single council member is supposed to have a copy of that budget. The council members are supposed to go through the budget before they even ask questions to these people. But because the budget is never presented on time, they go through this process. And it's a disservice to the public because we're paying for all of this. There are going to be budget changes in this budget in the mayor's office, but they're not going to tell you what those budget changes are because they don't have to tell you because they don't answer to the people. They answer to themselves.
I don't even need to say nothing.
So what I said previously, though, if there are questions that the council may have later on today or tomorrow, let's make sure we get them to the clerk's office and then she'll forward them to necessary.
Budget's been the same for the past 5 years. So.
That's even a lie. If the budget is the same, then how you got increases in salaries? What are you talking about? I mean, but the budget been the same, and he just agreeing with them because he's a rubber stamp. Look at him, no frill, nobody, a straight coward. A straight coward.
That's what nepotism gets you in the city.
Exactly. His mother
ain't do shit, and he not gonna do shit.
His mother sat in that same seat, and when she got sick and they took her out of there, they put him in there. This is what they're doing in our community when they say they want to be in position of power. You put these people in power. I told you, first you got to look within before you can fight the system. These people can't be no leaders of ours. We can't look at these black politicians, not just dumb and north, all over. No politician, nobody that works with the system is a leader in our community. All speaks for the community. You see, this is how we know the system to be from the inside. You know when they always say local politics is more corrupt than federal because there's less eyes on them. So they just abuse the people while they continue to get rich. Look at him, yo. Look at this dude. In any other life, in any other time, he wouldn't be sitting there. He's not even.
And most of them are double dumpers too. He sits on the commission of the water, PSE. Like these people are in charge of our resources.
Everything. They're making $500,000, millions of dollars.
Council sits on the North Housing Board while he's also a council. They just giving out properties to their friends and family, using the North Housing as an ATM machine.
And produce nothing for the people while the people keep suffering.
Anything else from the council?
Great day, Chief.
Have a great day, Chief. He didn't do nothing. He didn't present. He didn't say nothing. He didn't do nothing. He sat there and have a great day, Chief. Nepotism. That is why this stuff don't work for the community. That's why the garbage people complaining. That's why everybody in the city complaining. Everything going on in the city, there are people responsible. But they all have nice jobs. All these people, all of them, they support Biden, they support this government, they support these public schools, they support everything that's destroying our communities. It's dumb. It's dumb. And nobody's willing to say it. Because they're scared they're going to get penalized, they're going to lose their job. The fact that you got to get paid to work for your people is a crime in itself.
That was the quickest one. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
They're just laughing. Everything funny. Now, I mean, so when you go from City Hall, you leave City Hall, then you go to the shicey preachers. Look at them.
Wait 1 second, Chairman. Dawn Haynes' husband is now a supervisor at the sanitation. So yeah.
Of course, she took money to leave the council, the school board. Her husband is in charge of this. They get jobs everywhere. Why do people continue to suffer? But look. So you just look at them like mobsters and gangsters. That's how they move in the community, because that's what they always wanted to emulate. They always want to be like the dude on the street. They always want to be like the gangsters, the thugs. So as soon as they get all this money, you'll watch them. This is what they do with the money, with the contract, everything that they have. The money is within them. Just like we reading the Philadelphia Negro. They don't care about the people in the 7th Ward, the people down in the 8th, the people suffering. They don't care about those people. They care about their small group, their fraternities, their low freedman's group. Look at this dude right here. Watch this. That's north. That's downtown. Bring out the red carpet for him. While people are on the street suffering, starving, hungry, don't have a place to stay.
Let's give our leader a hand.
Our leader, Al Sharpton. Al Sharpton getting money from property out here. Al Sharpton comes out here and he gives credibility to the slumlords. And he said they're going to do stuff for the community. The slumlords write him a check. In Newark, New Jersey, he's not even from here. But he has a relationship with the people in politics. So this is what they do with their money. They get local businesses, smoke shops. Look.
Thank you. Let me say, I cannot express that word how proud I am of this performance and the government administration of our own brother Stephen Barton. Because a good fighter doesn't know how good he is until he has a good champion. Yes, sir. And they have stood all the champions. They come out as champions.
You see that guy standing next to him? That's Pastor Bartley from in Newark, New Jersey. I don't think he got a church in Newark, but he works for Al Sharpton National Action Network in Newark. He's like supposed to be his Newark guy, Jersey guy, whatever he's supposed to be. They're like ambulance chasers. They go around and try to get stories for him. Last week, the family of Deborah Terrell reached out to me, and they said we need the Panthers to make an announcement and tell Pastor Bartley, that pastor right there with the yellow hoodie, the one that got the hoodie on for the business, with the 2 cigars on his chest. He said, tell him we don't want him affiliated with anything that's going on over here, us trying to get justice for our family member, for Deborah Terrell. He said they're not going to sell the people out. He said Pastor Bartley and a few other pastors got the video. They got to see the video of the killing of their family member, and they did not give them permission to go do it. So he said, he called me like, yo, Africa, I need you to put out a statement, but I've been so busy I didn't get the chance to put the statement out. But that's Pastor Bartley right there. These are the Uncle Toms and the sellouts that's destroying our community. These are the gatekeepers for white supremacy in our community, and they're rewarded with establishment, with businesses, with planes. I think Al Sharpton got a plane. Even though these people have added nothing, have done nothing for our community. These people are rewarded. Look, just you saw how he was moving. Look at them. Like they're people, like they're somebody. When all these people are traitors, Judases. That's what they are to our community. But Pastor Bartley, Deborah Terrell family say, stay away, man. They say, stay away.
And Al Sharpton.
His program, the church,
and Al Sharpton.
Throughout the country and the reach that he has for us. And now his entrepreneurship is having black partners right here, just across the street from City Hall. All of us are here, not because we couldn't be somewhere else, but we couldn't. Because as stepping stones, we had to be here to stack. So as we cut this president,
you saw? Remember I told you they were all in business together.
Stepping stones, we had to be here.
Let me show them again real quick. Mayor, there you go right there. That's the council president. They're all in business together, man. They're all out here working together to bamboozle and hoodwink the people. Look at this dude, man. A complete fool, an idiot. Yo, he couldn't talk to me or debate me about nothing. He's too stupid. But when you have access, when you got these connections, you can walk around here like you're somebody. Man, when I see them, I call them exactly who they are. Punk ass. But look, like when they see me, their heart drop. Because they know I see them for who they are. I see him for exactly who he is. But look at them. All of them working together, colluding, getting these businesses. While the people out here suffering, the people in the street. Gentrification, the largest is the largest in the country. They're out here. Look at them, bro. The same way I feel about Charlie Kirk is how I feel about them. These are our enemies. These are not our allies. They are worse than white supremacy. Because they actually know. I never thought, man. Only white supremacy can have black women standing in the rain like this. I never thought I would see it a day in my life. Look at their faces. They know better. They know they shouldn't be standing in that rain. They mad as hell. Standing up there because this white racist person that's under the umbrella, under the tent, is out there to speak. But they're not going to say nothing. When I saw this picture, It's a microcosm of black people today. This picture is a microcosm of all of us today. We know what's going on. It's a lie. But if you want to work at that job, if you want to keep those relationships and those contacts, you better shut up and stand in that rain. I mean, but like earlier, the General Secretary said we need help to do all this stuff. Because like we said, we believe the only way we can change our condition is by us doing it. So we got a chapter in DR. We working with poor people out in DR, people down on the lowest level. We're working with them to build something, to build the organization from there to here. Because we got to be prepared. They're prepared. They have their institutions. They have their institutional memory. Where's ours? You see this right here? Like the dude, where's he at? Frank. Frank is back here with the blue Panther t-shirt on. Back here. He's the one that's in charge of the baseball field with like 400 kids. I mean, see, we're interested in building institutions. So those 400 kids, they come there because they want to do baseball, but we're going to be teaching them Pantherism, teaching them their purpose. Now, I mean, so like we got to fix, like you can see the floor right there. He's trying to put in grass. He's trying to put in what they call it, the fake grass. What they call it, General Secretary? Artificial. Yeah, turf, artificial grass. Now, I mean, I'm going out there next month. Hopefully, no, not hopefully. I'm going out there next month, and we're gonna have all this stuff done, and then we're gonna open it. Yo, if you want to help, if you believe in the stuff that we're doing, I mean, because like we're not just going to DR. We do stuff in our community. We have after school program. We have the food program. We have the housing program. We do pig patrols. We do these political education classes. Yo, and we stand with anybody in the community fighting against the system. We do a lot of stuff, but we are also trying to be international. I mean, because after we're done here, our next step is to go to Africa. See, this is closer. This is like 3 hours away. Africa, that's like a 16-hour plane, 22 hours. Plane ride. So it's a whole bunch. You got to be there for a month. But this one right here, I could fly to DR, contact with the people, talk with the people, do what we got to do, and be back like the next day. I mean, but if you want to help out, with what we doing, hit us up. Hit the, the Cash App or whatever. I mean, but we got to go put that grass in there. I got to take the laptops. I got to take the cell phones. Because, look, once I go there.
If y'all got old electronics, we'll take it as long as it's working. Anybody got an old laptop?
Bring me a G. Let me know. Make it big.
Yeah, word up. If you got, I keep echoing. If you have all that stuff, if you got computers in it, I'll take it with me.
Let me see where that feedback coming from.
But that's okay. I think I'm done, though. If anybody got something, go ahead. Yo, talk to me or we done for today. Yo, bro, like, damn, 2 hours and 42 minutes. We out here wailing. We putting in time. We out here like we getting paid out here, man. Hold up. But you can't pay me to do nothing I do, yo. Anything I do for the people, yo, I take it as an insult to get paid. I take it as an insult.
Not only that, they couldn't afford it.
All power. Yo, you can't afford to pay me. That's another one. Yo, the work that I put in, I do this 24/7. You cannot afford to pay me. Word up. Nobody. I use my own bread. We use our own bread. We fund everything we're doing with our own bread. I mean, like, it's impossible to be able to afford me. I mean, how can you afford somebody every single day of their life? Like, let's say the captain for the Black Panther Party, she do the after-school program every day. She got the food, feeding the kids, working with the kids, tying their sneakers, wiping their nose every single day, aside from everything she got to do. And she do all this stuff for free, working with them for them to pass their tests, to become Panther Cubs, everything that she doing, going to this rally, to this protest. You cannot pay for that. You cannot afford it. The General Secretary, everything that she does, all of it, everything that we all do in this organization, you cannot afford to pay for any of it, yo. I mean, we work. We got over here, we got the homie Rodrigo. He be at, like, not just our meetings, because we always got meetings. He be at other people meetings, other people's stuff, trying to get information, bringing the link in. Yo, when I said we put in the group chat, yo, we going to Philly. Yo, we going here. We going to go to Colorado. That's another thing. The family in Colorado want us to get involved with what's going on out there. All I got to do is put it in the group chat. The first person that hit back is Rodrigo. You can't pay for that kind of discipline. Yo, but I got to go, though, man. So till next time.
Can I say something, please, before you leave?
Yes, you may.
Is this live? Wow.
am driving. My name is Mahasin Mama Seeds. I could relate from the beginning when you started speaking. I'm one of the grown folk radio petitioners that,
Your family.
gets involved with what's going on. And I came in late, and I didn't know if somebody was having a show and they was using this as a something for them to speak about and let us know about, but it's been sounding great from the beginning. My great-grandmother is from Philadelphia. My grandmother's from Philadelphia, so I related to that 1800s. And then when you spoke about us pulling our resources together, that's one of the biggest answers to all the success on the planet. So thank you so much. I just would like to know what can I know which show this is, and are you?
I got you.
I would just like to know more how I could be involved.
I got you, sis. Hey, General Secretary, come over here and come take over, General Secretary. But yeah, you can definitely be involved, and we are here every Sunday. Every Sunday we here at 12 o'clock. What is it? Yeah, 12 o'clock. We're here every Sunday at 12 o'clock.
12 o'clock.
Yeah, you could definitely be involved in the stuff, in the work that we do. But hold on, the General Secretary is coming. Hey, yo, I love being here because you're the best people in the world, yo. I love everybody that came through.
All power to the people. Thank you for joining us.
More power to the people.
So I'm gonna
love that saying too.
I'm gonna put in the chat our YouTube channel, and you can get all the information from there. We have links to our podcast and also to our political education show. And then I'm gonna put in an email. I'll put an email in the chat. So please email me because I want your contact information so I can get in touch with you. Did you hear me?
Empress, thank you. I heard you loud and clear, Empress. What's your name, please?
I am General Secretary Patience of the new African Black Panther Party.
Patience?
Yes, Patience.
Oh, Patience. Wow. I know a sister who was with the Black Panther Party, too. She lives in Connecticut now.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
Awesome.
All right.
All righty then.
That was a great show. Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining us. So, okay, the All Power to the People YouTube, and then you have the
All Power to the People.
Yes, and then you have our email address. I'm gonna spell it out. It's N as in Nancy, A as in Apple, B as in boy, 2 P's, P as in Paul, P as in Paul, and then Newark, NEWARK NJ@gmail.com. You want me to repeat that?
Oh, wow. Oh, no, thank you, because I'm going to just put you in the chat because I'm driving right now.
Oh, you're driving right. All right. I don't want you to say your number over the airwaves, but, again, you can see.
Not?
All right. You know what?
My number is 7.
I'm going to call you after.
03. All right. Thank you.
I'm going to call you after
03.
Mm-hmm.
All right. 470. 6756.
Awesome. And your name again? I'm sorry.
Mahasin. Mama Mahasin.
Mama Mahasin.
Right. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to call you probably because you're driving right now, right? So let me know what time to call you.
All right.
You want me to call you in an hour?
Right. Let's see.
Oh, she's talking to somebody else.
Let's see. An hour and a half.
Okay, no problem. I'll talk to you soon.
All right. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Very much.
Bye-bye.
Power to the people.
All power to the people.
Oh.